July 1st. How about that? Looked a little weird this morning. July 1st, that's Bobby Bonilla Day. It's Texas, Oklahoma. Join the SEC Day. A lot of weird things. Other guys get paid, too. I noticed it's just not Bobby Bonilla that gets his payment on July 1st. There's some others that get a nice fat check from their teams.
But they all follow Bobby Bonilla because that's the most famous one that's out there.
What a great agent. Does the agent still get paid, too? You got to think that, right? Does that agent still get like 10% or whatever, 6% of the cut and gets a little bit of payment every day?
Unless he got it up front. Yeah, he may have gotten his up front, though.
What a smart move. Still paying off to this day. We can recap. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I did not watch any sports this weekend except on my phone, and that was Churchill Downs. I played the horses, but we went to the lake, went out on the boat all day, came back, worn out, watched the movie, went to bed. Got up the next day, went back out on the lake, got home last night. I was so tired, I showered, and one of my daughters was out, and I told her, be home at a certain time. I'm going to wait up for you. I fell asleep on the couch waiting for her. She came in on time and went to bed. I locked up the house, turned the alarm on, and I went to bed. I think I slept like 9 hours last night.
That's great to be able to do that.
I never do that, but just being out on the lake, the sun just wears you out, and I think I slept from like 10:30 to 7:30 this morning. That was some good sleep. In fact, I woke up before my alarm went off, and I was like, what time is it? Did I forget to set my alarm? And I looked at my phone, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, let's go. Let's attack the day, and I'm glad I did because it's been a crazy day. Usually in the summer, there's not a whole lot going on locally, and today we have two events. We got Hunter Henry throwing a football camp out at the Little Rock Air Force Base. So we got Josh, one of the crews up there at Fox 16 covering that, and Will McIntyre, who will join us in a bit, made a check presentation at the Cardi Cancer Center about an hour ago. And so I ran over there and got some video and interviewed Will and his dad, and just an awesome story. Will's dad was diagnosed with cancer years ago, now cancer-free. And so Will was looking for a way to pay it back. He had the NIL money and wanted to donate some of that and encourage other Arkansas people to give. And so he donated per strikeout some money to Carti. And today the check presentation, I think it was $12,500 that Will McIntyre donated to Carti. So pretty cool story, and Will's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. I did not realize until I was there talking with Will and his dad that Will's got another year. He's got a COVID year. So he could come back next year and pitch for a sixth season for the Razorbacks. And the door is open. He said that, he's got some thinking to do and have to, see what happens with the draft. And if a team wants him and if they want to pay him, and then he'll go play. Because he said, that's my dream too. He said, I'm living the dream right now pitching for the Razorbacks. But I also have a dream of, pitching professionally. And if that presents itself later this month when the draft happens, now that it's July, I can say later this month, then he's going to go to the draft. If not, it's a great fallback and a plan B, come back and pitch for the Razorbacks next year. And Arkansas got another guy from the portal I saw, so they continue to work the portal, and it looks like we discussed this last week with Texas A&M with the new head coach, that some of those guys, like Jace Lavalette and some of their top hitters, a lot of their, I think I saw it was 7 of the starters. Was it 9? Maybe, no, I think it was 7 of the starters in the championship game had entered the portal. And some of them now are getting out of the portal and going back to Texas A&M because A&M is hiring their, I guess it's official now, their batting coach. Their assistant coach is taking over at Texas A&M after they swung and missed. They made the call, and you got to call Tony Vitello and see if you could lure him away. They weren't able to, and he stuck at Tennessee, which, we've discussed. Why would he leave Tennessee right now? They're going to pay him. He's getting the facility upgrade. He's got the NIL money. He's got it rolling right now, and it would be hard to lure him away. A&M tried, but they were unsuccessful.
They knew that wasn't happening, but when you have a coaching vacancy, you swing for the fences, and you try to get the best coach, the best candidates that are out there, and then you work your way down the list. So with him being one of the top coaches in college baseball, just coming off a national championship. That's where you start, and then you work your way down. And I'm sure they have some other people in mind, some other candidates that they want to look at, but they were just taking a big shot at it, taking a chance.
Kendall Rogers with D1 Baseball reported that Virginia's coach, they made a call to, and he turned them down also. Apparently maybe there was some tie or something. I don't know, but it was somebody that up-and-coming coach. There was some discussion that they would call Florida State's new coach, but they did not, according to Kendall Rogers, that he's not going anywhere. He feels so obligated to Florida State for choosing him to replace a legend, and that he has no interest in leaving.
So we'll see what the domino effect is now that Jim Schlossnagle went to Texas and A&M has that opening, where they're able to go. What's going to be the domino effect? And if they have looked at some of those bigger names, then it may not be as big of a domino effect as it could have been.
Yeah, it looks like really there's not much of a domino effect going to happen. Like somebody at LSU or somebody he had worked at LSU, their new coach, and it was just a staffer that's going to follow or go to Texas A&M. So nothing big is happening with that move at all. All right, coming up besides Will McIntyre at 1:30, Joe Klein is going to be in the studio. He'll join us at 3 o'clock. A lot of NBA news happening overnight, and we got players moving left and right, and got some scenarios out there of different guys moving. Klay Thompson, where he's going to end up. So it'll be fun to have Joe in here and talk a little NBA with him. And I saw the tweet. This is big news. That special is back for July 4th. I told you guys about the Memorial Day special they had and how much food it was and what a great price. They're doing again for July 4th. We'll let Joe explain that too. So that's it. Just two guests. Plenty of time to take some phone calls. If you want to jump in here now is a good time. 661-1037. Joe, remind me so we can hit the break on time. Will McIntyre's going to call us at 1:30, so I don't want to have to let him sit and wait on hold because I forgot to take the break. Let's go and take a phone call. Downtown Jenny Brown. It must be Ladies' Day on the buzz. I heard the Zone. The Zone had a call from a female earlier today. What's up?
Well, I was just going to tease you and ask you, since you didn't say, what time was it that you told your daughter to be home?
I told her 11:30.
Okay. I couldn't tell by the way you were saying it, like you didn't want to really say on the air, like what time.
Yeah, I was debating in my head whether to say it or not. And look, here's the deal.
Old is
she is 16.
Okay.
Well, she's 15, about to turn 16. Mom is out of town. Mom is with her sisters and her mother for her mother's birthday. So it's just me and the girls. So I'm in control, right? I'm like, and so I texted her.
Well, you think you are.
What exactly? And so I'm like, what would be a good time? What would Allison say is a good time? And I was like, let me start at 11:30. And I thought she would go, come on, Dad, let me stay out at least till midnight. So I was working in a little buffer there. I was negotiating.
You had a little 30-minute.
Exactly.
30-minute buffer.
And I said,
like it.
be home at 11:30, and she said, okay. And I was like, all right.
That would have been fine with me. I tell you what, I had to be in earlier than that. I had some strict parents. Of course, that probably explains why I am the way I am. But
oh, my.
So you know what I'm talking about.
10:30 tonight. Yeah. 10:30 tonight.
There you go. Exactly. All right. I love you guys. Just want to give you a little buzz on that.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jenny.
Let's go to John Mark. He's in Benton. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Y'all got me thinking. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Obviously Texas A&M, huge program in all sports. I mean, we've known that for a long time. SEC, a lot of money. We've seen that with the football program, and a few years ago, their number one class because of the NIL, all that good stuff, right? I'll preface by saying this: their batting coach or whoever got the job, probably a great coach. I mean, he's in that position for a reason. All good, but what interested me in what y'all were talking about, they swung for the fences, just not unlike what we did with Coach Cal. I mean, very similar to that, right?
Yep.
It's interesting to see that all those people had no interest at all. Is it that the program wasn't interesting, or was it more not enough money, or they were just more along that they were still good with their program? What do you think that was? That intrigued me when y'all were talking about it. I'll hang up and listen. Appreciate it.
I think it's kind of like the Dan Hurley situation for both of these coaches. Dan Hurley, the Lakers swung and missed, and so did, honestly, Kentucky and a couple of programs that had head coaching openings. But I think this isn't an indication or anything negative on the A&M program as much as I'd like to trash the program. I think this is just more of a fact that Tony Vitello is very, very happy where he is, and the other coach that was Plan B is very happy where he is. That sometimes, even though we see it often with free agency and athletes and maybe even NIL, that money talks and, that's all that matters. Well, I think in this scenario, no matter what A&M offered, Vitello was like, it's not enough for me to leave where I am. I'm very happy, content where I am right now at Tennessee.
Coming off a national championship, like that, they've built for this moment, and they got over the hump. They won a championship. There's no reason for him to leave right now, and especially with things that are in place and the future looks bright for them. So to leave that to go somewhere else where you're going to have to, even though A&M just played for a championship, it's still kind of a building process there to get them over the hump. So if you've already achieved that, there's no sense in leaving that to try to do it somewhere else, especially he's early in his career. Now, if he was later in the career and maybe a few years removed from a championship, maybe that makes a little more sense. But right now, he's on top of the world at Tennessee.
Well, and think about relationships. So much of your job, his job, it's about relationships and he's built there at Tennessee. So he's very happy with his athletic director, the assistant athletic director, their NIL people. He has created those relationships, and he doesn't want to leave those guys. And think about starting a new job with the new boss, the new AD. If he didn't have a relationship, what was it, Trev Alberts? Is that the AD at A&M that left and went from Nebraska?
Yes.
Maybe they don't have a relationship whatsoever. That's why Schlossnagle left. He had a great relationship with Conte. They had worked together at TCU. Conte leaves TCU, goes to Texas. They had that relationship, and that's part of the reason why he left. Maybe Vitello doesn't have any relationship with the people at A&M, and you're thinking, I got to leave these guys behind that I love working with. They're awesome for it, and give me whatever I want. If I say, guys, we got to have this, they're like, done. So sometimes it's hard to leave those relationships and create a new relationship. 661-1037. I'll check the D3 Auto Sales text line while Joe is taking a call right now. Are we overreacting to this 2026 kid decommitting? I tell you what, I got a text last night from a buddy that was overreacting. I was like, dude, first of all, it's 2026. The guy said it pretty plain and simple to me, and I get it. He committed early in the process, and at the time, he wasn't a highly recruited guy. Remember, he's the one that put the sign up, the billboard that said, I want to be a Razorback. And he was looking for that big offer. He got it. Well, now this kid's Bear McWhorter. He's developing. He's becoming a bigger and bigger recruit.
He's a four-star now.
And now these other schools are sniffing around. And he's like, and so he's gone from being desperate and wanting to be in a situation to where now people are calling and recruiting him, and he wants to get to do that. I mean, think about being a kid and being recruited. Schools paying you to come visit their campus, right? Go on an official visit. They take care of your flights, your hotel. I mean, that's cool. He wants to partake in that. You only get one opportunity as a young kid when you're being recruited. So take advantage of it. And it's 2026. He may very well end up still being a Razorback when it's all said and done because of that relationship. And he wanted to be a Razorback. They were the first ones to offer him. So just let him go out and see. And I've always had that theory, and it goes back to when I was being, air quotes, recruited, when I went through Rush. Went to this house, loved it. They were like, hey, we love you too. It's going to be, we think it's going to be a great fit. Now go to these other houses. I'm like, huh? They're like, yes. That's just going to make us look better when you go and see these other places. But you need to know in your mind if it's the right fit so that you have no second regrets, right? No second guessing later on going, man, I should have rushed this other place. Well, no, you go and visit these places and go, no, that's where I want to be, and you come back. Maybe it's the same thing with Bear later on.
Well, it does seem a little odd with him in the fact that he was the one trying to make that initial contact with the Razorbacks. Now, maybe he did have some regrets in a sense of he did not go through that recruiting process and he didn't give other schools opportunities. But that's where people are probably making the big deal in the fact that he reached out to Arkansas. Arkansas saw something in him. They offered him. He committed, and then he decommitted. So that's where the issue comes in, where people are saying, this is a problem.
Yeah. Well, I would also say, and I just saw this tweeted, and it's not like it's breaking news, but On3, another website, came out with the top coaches on the hot seat in the SEC. Number one on the list is Sam Pittman. Don't you know the other schools that were interested in this young man were negative recruiting and saying, why are you committed there? Why are you committed to Sam Pittman? He's probably not going to be there in 2026 when you graduate from high school. That negative recruiting is going on. Maybe that's part of it. And maybe he just wants to see, it's as simple as that, see if Sam Pittman is still going to be the head coach of the Razorbacks next year, what kind of year that they have. And maybe they win, have a good year, and Pittman's around, and that's all he needs to know, and he's back being a Razorback. But, it's things like that. They don't help the cause at all when these recruits see it. But, the other coaches are using it anyway. They're bad-mouthing Pittman and the Razorbacks and saying that he's on the hot seat, and if they're not good, he's going to be gone. And new coaching staff may not even offer you anyway. So what are you doing committed to Arkansas?
Yeah, he's enjoying the process. And, once again, he may have thought this is something that he missed out on if, just in the future at some point. He may have regrets looking back, and he doesn't want to have any regrets. And so now he's going back and redoing the whole process.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Will McIntyre, get his thoughts on this season, and we're going to talk about his big donation that he made this afternoon at Carti in Little Rock. Coming up in the third hour, Joe Klein will join us. We'll take more phone calls. D3 Auto Sales text line's already jumping. We'll get to those a little bit later. Glad you're with us. It is a Monday, July 1st. It's Out of Bounds.
Listen every Wednesday when RJ Hawk joins his old buddies on Morning Mayhem. Presented by Natural State Wholesale Flooring. See everything that Natural State Wholesale has to offer at naturalstatewholesale.com.
This is Sports Center.
Arkansas baseball added Rhode Island first baseman Michael Anderson to the roster via the transfer portal yesterday. Anderson had 13 home runs and 42 RBIs while batting .252 with a .423 on-base percentage for the Rams this year. He had a Division I baseball record 12 RBIs on March 20th against Stonehill. And in Arkansas football news, the Razorbacks lost a commitment from Georgia three-star offensive lineman Bear McWhorter. McWhorter was the second commit of the 2025 class. He was a notable recruit as he bought a billboard in 2021 with it stating, "Coach Pittman, I want to be a Hog." He holds offers from Alabama, Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, and others. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car. You kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
Make this summer one to remember by stopping by Arch Marine in North Little Rock. Arch is all about creating fun on our lakes and rivers. You have to come by and see the new 2024 G3 Tri-Tunes, the hottest and coolest ride out there. We're easy to find. Take the Levy exit.
Do you know what's even better than a doe steak and tamales? Doe steak and tamales on our dog-friendly patio. So come on down Monday through Friday 11 to 2 for lunch and Monday through Saturday 5 to 9 for dinner. Doe's is at the corner of Ringo and Markham in downtown Little Rock, where we are locally owned and operated for over 36 years. And don't forget, Doe's Eat Place for goodness steaks.
This is Pat Bradley, and I'll be on Drive Time Sports presented by Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union in their summertime auto loan special. Summer's halfway over. Take advantage of rates as low as 1.99% before summer ends. Apply at alcoacommunityfcu.org.
Clark Power presents Countdown to Kickoff, Friday, July 26th at the Hall. Get a preview of the upcoming Razorback football season, including current players Isaiah Satania, Landon Jackson, and Luke Haas. Plus, we'll celebrate the 25th anniversary of the '99 Tennessee Redemption Game with Clint Sterner, Anthony Lucas, and Houston Nutt. VIP and general admission tickets are on sale now at LittleRockHall.com. Countdown to Kickoff, presented by Clark Power with Oaklawn Sports, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Chris Crane Hyundai, Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, and Fleet Management Services.
Bass, Scoops is my new go-to for coffee. You should go there now.
Raj, only if you join me for their ice cream. It's amazing.
Absolutely it is. They've got coffee with ice cream for those special days. Plus, their pastries and breakfast sandwiches are all local.
Raj, they even have a drive-thru. Greg Hatcher has thought of everything.
I love Greg Hatcher. You bet he has. Scoops is open all day, every day.
Perfect. Let's head there now. It's at the corner of Broadway and 3rd, downtown Little Rock.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Wait a minute, this love started off so tender, so sweet. But now she got me smoking out the window. Must have spent 45,000 up in Tiffany's. Oh no! Got a bad air kids.
Welcome back. It is Out of Bounds. Wes Moore and Joe Franklin. Got Will McIntyre calling in shortly. While we await his call, we'll take a look at the D3 Auto Sales text line. What a great day for Isaiah Joe. This one from the 479. Isaiah signs a contract 4 years, $48 million to stay in Oklahoma City. Good deal, Joe?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. He boosted his stock, and he's worked hard to be where he is.
I think Oklahoma City, in him. Yeah, I think Oklahoma City's a great fit. Love to see that he's getting paid. I know Christian's happy. Oklahoma City made another move over the weekend. Man, they look tough. They got the big guy they needed.
NBA draft that just passed, there were 2 guys that were drafted high, and their brothers play for OKC.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, congratulations, Isaiah Joe. $48 million staying in Oklahoma City. This one from the 870. I'm surprised A&M didn't go after Georgia's coach. That's Wess Johnson. Yeah, I mean, maybe they thought he didn't want to leave Georgia after only 1 year, but still make a phone call. Dude turned around Georgia pretty quick. In 1 year, look at what they were able to do. That's pretty impressive. I'm a big Wess Johnson fan. I think our next guest may be. Joe, you selling segments? Daily?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think our next guest may be also a fan of Wess Johnson. Got to bring Will McIntyre in on Return of the Mac. Maybe there will be a Return of the Mac. We'll get to that in a bit. Will, welcome into Out of Bounds. How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm good. You like that song?
Oh, yeah.
That was your song, right? Coming in out of the bullpen?
Oh, yeah. That was my walkout song.
What was the most thrilling walkout for you this year when you hear that song? Which one? What comes to mind?
I think LSU at home on that Friday. That was a good crowd. I think it was one of our biggest ones of the year.
So as far as the song, of course, it makes sense, just Return of the Mac, but is that something you knew, or did somebody put you up on that because it came out quite a while ago?
Yeah, I remember we had somebody at my church when I was going into college say I should use that song, and I never really used it. And then last year when I announced I was coming back, I I tweeted that song, and I was like, well, I tweeted that. I kind of got to use it now.
That is yours. Well, you own it now. Got to see Will today. Ran into him today at the Card-Eye Center, Cancer Center. And, Will, what a great idea and what a great cause, man. That was awesome. The program was Strikeouts for a Cause. And today you had the check presentation. Tell everybody a little bit about the check presentation and some background behind it.
Yeah, it was a great time. Got to go to the Card-Eye Center in Little Rock and just got to present the check that me and a lot of Razorback fans helped put together. Had a campaign throughout the season that for every strikeout, I would donate $5, and then we had a website where people could just pledge to match however much they wanted to give. And just throughout the whole season, it was cool to see just all the fans help support me, and we went from 10 pledgers to throughout the course of the season, I think we ended with around 70. And with that many people, we kept having to push the goal up more and more just because we didn't really know what to expect. It was awesome.
What was the goal originally?
I think the original goal was $2,000, and we ended up with $12,000, so it was amazing.
How did it come about for this to all come together where you were going to donate for strikes?
So our kicker, Cam Little, did something very similar with him. I think it was field goals or extra points or both, that every time he made one, he would donate. And, that kind of just inspired me. And I think that's something a lot of athletes should do is just, with our platform now, with NIL and stuff, we should be able to use our platform to, help those in need.
Will McIntyre with us on Out of Bounds, and today presented a check, $12,250 is what it ended up being at Card-Eye Cancer Center in Little Rock. Why Card-Eye Cancer Center in Little Rock?
So it was a personal choice for my family. When I was in high school, my dad was diagnosed with cancer and ended up going to Card-Eye for his treatment, and they took a really good job taking care of him, and very supportive staff, supported him and our family really well. And I just wanted to choose something that was personal to me, but at the same time can be very personal to other people, because cancer is not a thing that affects one person; it affects the whole family. So it's something that touches a lot of people.
How was that time for your family, and how's your dad doing now?
He's good. He's been in remission for, I'd say, 5-6 years now. So he's good. He only has to go get checkups once a year, and I think he has to do that the rest of his life. And I think he's been good, and our family's good now. I think honestly that whole experience brought us closer together.
Will McIntyre with us on Out of Bounds, and Will, we hear about the NIL, and some people have, fans get negative thoughts about the NIL and just being used to buy players. But we see how an NIL can be beneficial, and I think this is one of the great ways. What did the NIL mean for you? Because we talk about baseball players and partial scholarships and how tough it is to recruit baseball players and limited, scholarships. What does NIL mean for you and for baseball players?
For me personally, it's been an awesome experience. Baseball, I don't know if many people know, but we have 40-something guys on roster, and baseball kind of got the short end of the stick when it comes to scholarships. We only get 11.7 to split between 35 to 40 people. So NIL has helped me just pay off student debt because I have not been on scholarship in my time at the university. So it's helping me come out of college virtually debt-free, and I know it's doing the same for others, so yeah.
Well, what do you have going on now for the off season? Of course, you just did a donation and for a great cause, but what else is going on with you?
I'll be heading out on a vacation on the 3rd, and then lately I've been working a bunch of kids camps. That's been testing my patience a little bit. And then just staying ready for the draft because I still got a decision to make on what I want to do.
Are you talking with teams, or is your advisor talking with teams? Do you have any kind of a feel?
I've had my advisor tell me that we've got some teams interested. I'm in a situation where I'm not gonna, make make a lot of money just because of my age, but I have to make the decision of, do I want to go pursue the childhood dream of playing professional baseball, or do I come back for my last year and keep living the childhood dream of playing for the Hogs?
A win-win situation.
Yeah.
As far as teams interested, is that something where you have conversations with these teams, or is that only on your agent? Do you go work out for them? What's that process?
From my experience, it's just been he talks to them, and then he just lets me know what he thinks my situation is and what could happen.
How old are you, Will?
I'll be 24 here in August.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You could be a 24-year-old playing for the Razorbacks for a 6th year. That's pretty cool. I mean, you're going to have some nicknames. Some of those young guys are going to be calling you Pops or something. Or did they already?
Yeah. They started this year. I told them to calm down. So if I come back next year, I don't think I can stop it.
So to have a 6th season, just to have those options, how meaningful is that to you, where you know what's on one side as far as MLB and the possibilities there, but also to have that option?
Oh, it's awesome. Having options is great. I could just be a guy that's out of eligibility and just out there hoping some team takes a chance on me. So if I don't really like my situation, or I do decide I want to go be a Hog for another year, I always have that. So it's been great to have options. Now
that you've had about a month to process the season, how do you look back on this year?
I would say us as a team, we performed really well throughout the course of the season. And then, the last month really didn't play the best baseball that we needed to be able to go out there and compete for a championship. But I think the season as a success was as a whole was a success because we were SEC West champs. We were in the running for overall champs. We were a national seed. I know the end of the season was very disappointing. I know a bunch of fans are disappointed, but I don't think they realize how much more disappointed we are in ourselves because we spent a whole year just working for that moment. So for me, I would say it was a success. SEC West champs for the last time because I think next year it's going into one big conference instead of two divisions. So, yeah.
For you personally, what are some things you feel great about with your game, and then what are some things you like to add to it?
I'm always looking to add velo. That's just been something I've always struggled with. I've slowly gained a little bit over time, but if that's one thing I could add right now, it would be a lot of velo. And then something I've always appreciated that I've been able to do is throw off speed for strikes and be able to land off speed when I need to.
Will McIntyre with us on Out of Bounds. Will, we know the Razorbacks and the coaches have been busy in the portal. Mainly it's been a lot of position players because there are a lot of pitchers coming back. What are you've seen these young guys, and maybe some of them had to redshirt. What do they have, or maybe you may be a part of it. What do y'all have coming back next year?
I know we lost basically the whole rotation, but we've got a numerous amount of pitchers coming back, and I'm sure they've added on some transfer or freshman pitchers coming in. So I wouldn't be too worried about pitching next year. I think from the guys I know coming back, that's going to be a good staff. And then it'll be interesting to see who they've brought in. It's kind of hard to keep track of who they brought in. They bring in so many, but you're going to get Vahiva Aloy back at shortstop, who was one of our biggest power bats this last season. I know you got Nolan Souza, who's going to be a really big piece. That guy's going to develop into a monster. And same for Ryder Helfrich. Ryder is a fantastic catcher, and from what I've seen, he's been playing good in summer ball this summer.
Yeah, he's had some big hits. Who is the? And I don't want to say the next Hagen Smith. That's not right. Who's the next stud at Arkansas? Pitching.
Pitching wise,
yes.
You saw a lot of them this year. It's going to be between Gabe Gackle. He was a stud this year, but for somebody that I don't know if many fans know the name of or got to see, I think it's going to be Hunter Dietz. He played a little bit this year, got injured. He was coming back from an injury, got injured again, but he should be ready to go next year, and he was an unbelievable pitcher this fall, and if he pitches like that, he'll be a stud next year.
So draft comes and goes, and you decide to be a Razorback next season. How do you top what you did today?
Do it again and get some more strikeouts.
Well, we'll have the song ready just in case you decide to come back, and I'm sure they'll welcome you back with open arms. Will, it's been great to have you on, and congratulations raising the money for car tie. That was awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Enjoy your vacation.
I will.
It's Will McIntyre joining us on Out of Bounds. Pretty cool. It's good to see things like that, paying it back. We hear about paying forward, but in this case, kind of paying it back. That gets me fired up. Thinking coming in for the dugout, playing against LSU, key situation. Next year it'll be Texas. Another big rivalry. All right, when we come back, we'll take some more of your phone calls. We can I got to check the D3 Auto Sales text line. It's blowing up over there. A lot to get to. If you want to join us, now's the time. 661-1037. It's Out of Bounds.
Friends make everything better. At Bark Bar and Grill, you have a place where you can hang out with all your friends. At Bark Bar and Grill, feast on the best burger in Little Rock. Enjoy bottomless mimosas or the 20 cold beers on tap. Plus, you can catch the game on the largest outdoor TV in Arkansas. I mean, seriously, why settle for less? But hold on a minute, there's more fun outside. Their dog-friendly outdoor spot is your playground for live entertainment, games, and laid-back fun. It's not just a meal, it's an experience. Bark Bar and Grill on South Spring Street.
I knew there had to be a better way to get relief from joint pain aside from surgery and harmful medications.
That's football legend and dancing champ Emmitt Smith, who knows a thing or two about joint pain.
Turns out I was right. It's called QC Kinetics, and now tens of thousands of patients and counting all across the country, they're feeling amazing. They say, hey, Emmitt, you were right.
QC Kinetics zeroed in on a technology that is revolutionizing pain treatment. They are transforming patients' lives. The largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments using natural healing properties to help restore and repair aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. Call them today for your free consultation.
QC Kinetics. I knew there had to be a better way. I love it when I'm right.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Celebrate 4th of July in downtown Little Rock at the 40th anniversary of Pops on the River, presented by the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. This free community event will begin at 5 p.m. with free activities for kids, food trucks, Lost 40, live music, and concluding with a tradition of the Arkansas Sympathy Orchestra and a fireworks finale. Visit arkansasonline.com/pops or check today's Arkansas Democrat Gazette for more information.
Hey everyone, this is Heather Baker, president and publisher of AY Media Group here in Arkansas. We publish two of the biggest and most widely read magazines in the entire state, AY Magazine and Arkansas Money and Politics. At AY and Arkansas Money and Politics, we keep you up to date on all the news you need to know and the stories you want to hear. Visit us online at aymag.com and armoneyandpolitics.com to see for yourself. Now, more than ever, it is important to be mindful of where you get your news and support your local businesses. With AY Media Group, you get the best of both worlds.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Join 1037 The Buzz as First Security Bank presents coverage of the 2024 SEC Media Days. David Basil and Randy Rainwater will be in Dallas with the latest news, interviews, and highlights. Brought to you in part by Kaufman by Design West, UAMS Health, Beechwood, Pinnacle Hotels, and Bet Saracen. And be sure to watch 1037 The Buzz social media for live videos, pictures, and much more. It's 1037 The Buzz, live from SEC Media Days, presented by First Security Bank.
Was a beauty from South Alabama. Her daddy had a heart like a 9-pound hammer. Think he even did a little time in the slammer. What was I thinking?
Welcome back. It is Out of Bounds. Monday. July is here. July 4th is almost here. 3-day work week. Let's go. I can handle that.
2.5 now.
Who's counting? All right. D3 Auto Sales text line. Let me start from the beginning. 501 says, thank goodness the real sports show is on the radio now because the other two shows spit out a lot of fictional nonsense. Come on now. Zone's not that bad. We are the real sports station. Real sports show. All sports all the time. LC in Sherwood. Shoot. A&M hired the wrong hitting coach. That's a good one, LC. LC not a fan of Coach Thompson. 940 says Klay Thompson to Mavs confirmed per sources. Well, it has been confirmed. I just saw that on Twitter.
That's the best deal out there for him.
Free agent Klay Thompson plans to join the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million with a player option. Sources tell ESPN. Thompson ends his historic Warriors run as part of a multi-team sign and trade that will also send Josh Green to Charlotte. So Woj with the news that Klay Thompson is going to Dallas. What do you think of this, Joe? Is this good for the Mavericks?
Oh, yeah, it's a great move to add a shooter to that mix. And they made some space to get a player like this where they already sent away Tim Hardaway Jr., and now the move continues with Josh Green. And so you put a shooter next to Kyrie, Luka, and you just make that offense more dynamic. And Klay has been a good defender throughout his NBA career, and he may have lost a step at this point, but he's still a really good defender. And so this is something that's only going to make the Mavs stronger on the perimeter.
Could this re-energize his career a little bit? You think this is a good fit that could help prolong his career?
Not necessarily sure about that. I mean, he has lost a step, but he's known as a spot-up shooter. He's not the guy that's going to put the ball on the court and try to create a lot of things from that standpoint. He can do some of that, but he's more of a spot-up shooter, a defensive guy. So he's known as a shooter, but he really is a 3-and-D type player, but people know him more for his shooting ability and his offense.
Okay, I'm trying to decide if I like this move as for the Mavericks, if this is good or not. But I guess you can never have too many good shooters.
Definitely, and you know that he's one that you're going to depend on at times, and he's going to be on the floor. Josh Green, Tim Hardaway Jr., those were guys that were playing in spot duty, and you didn't necessarily know if Jason Kidd was going to have him in the rotation or if they felt good about certain matchups to have him on the floor. Klay Thompson will be on the floor.
Is this the end of the Warriors?
I don't know if it's – no, I wouldn't say it's the end of the Warriors because you can see that they're trying to make some moves. It's the end of
the big three.
Something that has been a staple for them with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Splash Brothers.
Yeah.
Something that has been there for a long time and them winning championships. They just won a championship not long ago, but, of course, these two were there. Draymond Green is still there, and you can see with some of the moves that they made, Klay Thompson, waving Chris Paul, they're trying to get somebody to come in and add another star there.
Well, speaking of Chris Paul, he is joining the Spurs. 1 year, $11 million. And then you got Paul George. That was the big one. the news out that he is joining the 76ers, 4 years, $212 million for Paul George. Does this make the 76? Where does this put the 76ers in the pecking order of the Eastern Conference?
Sixers are not far off. We talked about who would be the biggest challenges to the Celtics, and you have to put the Sixers, the Bucks, and the Knicks. Those are probably the primary three. And Joel Embiid is a guy who's been an MVP, and they're always looking for the player to pair with him. They have Tyrese Maxey, who already is a good pair. Now you add Paul George, so you probably have to put them at the top of the pecking order. Now the Knicks have made plenty of moves this offseason, so it's going to be really competitive in the East to see how that all shakes out. But the Sixers haven't been far off, but with Joel Embiid, it's always a case of, is he going to be healthy? And we saw that happen this past postseason. It happened to the Bucks with Giannis. Giannis got hurt. So you're talking about your two best players on both these teams with pieces around them, and both these guys weren't available for the playoffs, but now you're adding more pieces around them.
Dakota writes in, guys, did you happen to catch the end of the race in Nashville yesterday? Very strung out with multiple overtimes, still very entertaining. Joey Logano got the win.
Yeah, 5 overtimes.
Ooh.
That's crazy for a race.
And from 501, proud of you, Will Mack, making the Bryant Hornets and Razorbacks proud. Yep, good tweet, good text there from the 501. Last Friday, I told you the story about the golfer at the U.S. Senior Open. And by the way, they're finishing that up today. They may be done. Should be on TV. Where's the remote? I'll change it in a second. The golfer hit back-to-back hole-in-ones. It's Frank Benzel. And it was at Newport Country Club, par threes, number 4, number 5. Missed the cut, by the way. He was playing with his son on the back, which made it even a little bit more special. His son's name is Hagen, named after Walter Hagen. He used the same club and the same ball on the holes in one. He hit a 6-iron using a tailor-made ball for both of the shots. He said, quote, the first one was great. I was kidding around, like, now let's go for another one. And it happened to go in. Couldn't believe it, said Benzel, who was battling heavy winds on both of those holes. Back-to-back hole-in-ones, the odds are astronomical. Astronomical. Thank you, Joe. But partly because it's rare for a course to have back-to-back hole-in-ones. That's what we talked about on Friday. It has happened, at least they could only find it one other time, and it was in 1971. John Hudson hit a hole-in-one on a par 3 and then a hole-in-one on a par 4 the next hole. It was the 1971 Martini International at Royal Norwich in England. And you're probably wondering, this is such an awesome feat. How come we haven't seen any video of it? Well, turns out he was playing in the very first group of the day, and the NBC cameras weren't up and running yet. So the only video that we have is someone got video of him pulling the ball out of the hole.
You have to be ready at all times.
Oh, my gosh.
He said that he didn't even realize until he said that, he's joking as the ball is in flight and it starts to roll or whatever, that, maybe this one is going to go in also, and didn't really realize it until they started to get a little bit closer. And he's like, wait, hold on now. That ball may have gone in.
By the way, they did finish the U.S. Senior Open. Richard Bland won it at 13 under, went to a playoff with Fujita. Ken Duke, he had a good finish to his round yesterday. I saw he was at 1 under, and then after the delay, he finished up 3 under for the day. 1 under for the tournament. So he finished in the red, tied for 22nd. So good final round for Ken Duke. Gets a top 25 in the U.S. Senior Championship. I was pulling up the Rocket Mortgage while I had the golf up. Cam Davis won that. Oh, yeah, I read this story. Cam Davis shot 2 under, 18 under for the tournament. I heard his name during the U.S. Open. Batia? I think that I'm saying it right. Batia up-and-coming young golfer, Akshay Bhatia. He had, a couple good rounds at the U.S. Open, got some TV time, and learned a little bit about him, and hits it a mile like all the young guys. He 3-putted the 18th hole to lose. His first 3-putt of the entire week, and it comes on the 72nd hole, and he drops.
Worst timing possible.
And out of the lead. Just terrible. But Cam Davis gets the win at the Rocket Mortgage, and we'll have the Open Championship coming up in a couple of weeks, and we'll have our contest again. Arkansas Golf Center's going to step up again, give us a prize, and we'll do our same thing. We'll cut up a bunch of golfers, let you call in. I'll draw a golfer for you, and we'll see who wins the prize package from the Arkansas Golf Center. Coming up in the second hour, hey, it's wide open. We'll probably hit what's trending in the second hour since Joe Klein's coming into the studio in our third hour. But we'll take some phone calls, 661-1037. I was checking the True Service Community Federal Credit Union live fan feedback. Looks like there it is, popped right on up. Got it. All right, we'll hit that also. All right, stick around. Hour number 2 is coming up next. It's Out of Bounds.
Are you still on the sidelines? Then it's time you suit up and get in the game. Download Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app, Bet Saracen, today.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
Awesome Friday edition of Morning Mayhem in the books. Want to thank the folks out at Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sherwood for hosting Roger and Baz. Also want to thank Bo Mattingly, RJ Hawk, and Heather Baker for joining the program. The guys are back on Monday, 6 to 10, right here on Morning Mayhem, 103.7 The Buzz.
I'm so angry.
Don't be upset. You can always listen to us. You're better than that. 103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock.
The fourth victim of the mass shooting at the Mad Butcher in Fordyce will be laid to rest today. Services for 62-year-old Shirley Taylor will start at 2 p.m. That's happening at the Benton Funeral Home Chapel in Fordyce. The Mad Butcher grocery store will reopen tomorrow. The store will operate on limited hours, which are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. A record number of people are set to hit the road for the 4th of July, and gas prices are starting to go up. In Arkansas this morning, it'll cost you about $3.05 to fill up. That's compared to just $2.94 a week ago. Today's July 1st, which means there are 2 new additions to the SEC. The Texas Longhorns and Oklahoma Sooners are now official members of the conference. The Hogs will take on Texas in Fayetteville November 16th. This is Pat Walker for the Buzz Radio Network.
Tune in each week when Susan Irwin Prowl shares her Keys to the Weekend music events calendar with Justin and DJ. Brought to you by Willie D's and Big Red Dog Productions. Big Red Dog Productions is your gateway to music excellence in Central Arkansas and beyond. Visit entertainersguide.com to see the weekly calendar and submit your shows.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
It'll be partly cloudy and not as hot as it was over the weekend. This afternoon, Little Rock will top out at only around 90 degrees. Tonight, it'll be mostly clear. We'll drop down to the upper 60s and lower 70s. But tomorrow afternoon, it starts to turn hot again. We'll be mostly sunny with a high of 95. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Riverfront Steakhouse Special, dinner for two for $60. 10-ounce filet, fried shrimp, 2 sides, and our famous salad bar, only $60. Good Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night.
Political strategist and host of the Sunday Buzz, Bill Vickery, gets in the mix with the guys from Morning Mayhem, brought to you by Dugan's Pub with cold beers on tap, weekday lunch specials, and games on the big screens. And by Dizzy Gypsy Bistro, just around the corner from Dugan's in the River Market.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
This is Pat Bradley for Brewskis. Every Monday at both locations, that's downtown Little Rock and North Little Rock, we are bringing you $1 Wing Mondays. That's right, $1 Wing Mondays. That's traditional and boneless. Also, we have 11 different sauces to choose from. Not only that, watch every game on the big screen TVs and enjoy a cold beverage with some friends. Don't miss out on our $1 Wing Mondays. That's dine-in only at Brewskis. You're home for lunch, happy hour, and late night.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
At Capital Technology Group, we make your technology our priority. There are so many threats to IT these days, and we're here to help protect your data and devices. We're also by your side when things simply go wrong, whether it's servers crashing or printers breaking. We cover it all for our clients in all types of businesses. And with over 80 years of history in Arkansas, you can trust Capital Technology Group to be your business technology partner. Sign up for a free consultation at captg.com.
ESPN Radio Extra Point with Jonathan Zaslow.
I think it's the right decision by the Warriors. I think it's a major mistake from Klay Thompson. And what I mean is I do think there would be a place that they could meet, okay? It's at a much different dollar amount. I think ultimately the Warriors would like to keep him for a certain price, and I don't think Klay Thompson thinks that he's that player yet. Klay Thompson still wants to be paid for services rendered, and the Warriors, and specifically Mike Dunleavy Jr., are not interested in that. You know, when Bob Myers stepped away and Mike Dunleavy Jr. took over, it's the worst thing that could have happened for Klay Thompson. Worst thing that could have happened. You know, Bob Myers is going to have there's going to be an emotional play. And there's an emotional
so to speak.
There's a relationship there. He knows what he did. He knows when he was carried off the court in the NBA Finals in 2019. He knows there's a relationship there.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Live from the Signal Media Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
little Razorback news after the weekend. John Calipari has announced a satellite camp. His first one's going to be in Russellville, July 19th. It's for kids entering the first grade through those who just finished the sixth grade or about to enter the seventh grade. It's at Russellville High School. Camp is July 19th. $105.50. That would be pretty cool as a kid to get to go to the camp with John Calipari. I'd sign up for that. I'd want my parents to sign up for that if they could do it. What's it say? Camps allow participants to learn the game of basketball through a fundamental, intensive learning environment. John Calipari Camp. 5 more Razorbacks are going to the Olympics. This happened yesterday. Amber Anning for the UK. Nikisha Price, Akira Nugent, and Janique Brown. They're on the Jamaican team. And Nikki Hiltz as part of the U.S. Olympic team. Nugent broke the Jamaican record in the 100-meter hurdles with a time of 12.28. It was briefly the world leader for the year until the U.S. trials produced a 12.25. Janique Brown, also going in the 110 hurdles, 12.61. Who else? Let's see here. Hiltz, 1,500. Anning, 50.47 to break the UK championship record in the 400. So some Razorbacks doing well. This is the Razorback Report. Almost changed it to a different school. Also, the news, if you missed it, you need to check out the Will McIntyre interview. He was on with us at 1:30 today. He presented a check for $12,250 to the Carti Cancer Center here in Little Rock. It was part of his Strikeouts for a Cause. And today, they made the check presentation. Pretty cool thing. And then you got a former Razorback, Hunter Henry, giving back today and tomorrow. He's at the Little Rock Air Force Base putting on a camp for kids that are there on the Air Force Base. And we're going to have some more on that tonight on Fox 16. And I went out and interviewed Will also. So if you want to check those stories out on the news tonight, Fox 16, 5:30, 6:30, and 9 o'clock tonight. All right. I was about to toss to the interview, but we don't have the interview. The 2 o'clock fell through that I was thinking about. Anyway, Joe Klein will be here with us in the third hour. 661-1037 if you want to jump in here and talk a little sports with us. We had some news that from the day. In fact, we can go ahead and do the What's Trending.
What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
NBA news happening because of some of these guys signing new contracts. Paul George, one of the big ones. Klay Thompson leaving the Warriors.
Other teams still clearly view him like he has a lot more basketball left, in his tank. And he just turned 34 in February, which used to be sort of NBA old. 34 is no longer NBA old. He has some old body parts, old Achilles, ACL. But those injuries used to be far more of a death knell than they are now. And if he's in a spot where the role isn't requiring him to be your second best player and you're playing off of the attention of multiple stars. And think about this. In Golden State, Stephen Curry was the thing that everybody revolved around, and you were going to get your attention off the movement created by Stephen Curry, the gravity. There's Tyrese Maxey in Philly. There's Joel Embiid in Philly. There could be Paul George in Philly. In Dallas, there's Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Multiple sons for Klay Thompson to get some shade in. You know what I mean?
4 NBA championships, countless big shots, countless big moments, bringing an end to a couple of eras. The dynasty that has dominated the NBA for the last decade, we can say now it's over. Even if the Warriors somehow pivot and are able to cobble together, another run at a title or a championship or a finals, it's not the same without Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson was the second most important Warrior during that entire tenure. And then it's also the end of the Splash Brothers as we know them. Great nickname, great tandem, two of the top 5 shooters in the history. Think about that.
Absolutely.
Same
Absolutely.
backcourt for 13 years, two of the top 5 shooters in the history of the NBA.
Well, now it is official. Klay Thompson is going to the Mavs. 3 years. They're saying, this one's saying $50 million. I think I saw 48.5 earlier, so maybe with incentives or different clauses, who knows. He's getting paid to go to the Mavericks. And he mentioned also Paul George. Paul George is going to the 76ers, 4 years for $212 million. Here's Ryan McDonough on Paul George.
It seems like the 76ers are clearly in the driver's seat. And I think, Gels, this is something they wouldn't admit publicly, but Philadelphia will worry about 4 years from now. 4 years from now. I know that sounds simplistic, but they have Joel Embiid, a great player in his prime. They have Tyrese Maxey with the $13 million salary cap hold they can take advantage of. So their window is now, and they'll worry about the future in the future, which, we'll see how it pans out. Only time will tell. But frankly, I'm a little surprised that of the two teams, the Clippers the one not taking that tact, given all they've done to get Kawhi and PG, all the assets they've given up. I'm a little surprised that they've drawn a line in the sand. I thought at the end of the day they'd probably cave on that 4th year, even a partial, maybe almost fully guaranteed, but not fully guaranteed. It seems like they're not going to. So PG ends up in Philly, and I think that will be on the full 4-year, $212 million max contract.
Man, what a squad that they've lined up at Philadelphia. You watch the Celtics do what they do and how impressive the Celtics looked during their run through the Eastern Conference, during the season and during the playoffs. So they knew they had to step up and do something if they want to challenge that Boston team. And the Celtics, by the way, re-signed Derek White. He's going to stay there 4 years, $125 million.
He did great in the finals and throughout that playoff run. So he deserved that contract. He earned it. But, yeah, with the Sixers, like, everybody knew that Paul George was going to get paid. He was already had a massive contract with the Clippers, and he was trying to sign another deal because he was at the end of that contract. And there were several teams. The Mavs were one of the teams that were trying to get Paul George. And you see when Paul George makes the move to the Sixers, then there are other moves that are being made off that. But he's the one. He was the top player in free agency, and everything once that move was made, everybody else, you saw everybody else that was trying to get him, now they had to adjust to the Sixers landing Paul George and go to their other plan.
Yeah, plan B. Joe Klein will be in the studio in the third hour. We'll talk more NBA with him. Jim is in Camden. He joins us on Out of Bounds. What's up, Jim?
Yeah, I've been out of town 3 or 4 weeks. Could you call off the all 2 or 3 guys that Calipari has gotten the last month or so, please?
Yeah, you're talking about the previous 2 that they just signed. That was, I guess, scholarship number 10 and number 11. Those would be the last 2.
Yeah, they're okay. Those 2, I guess, would be it. Okay. I thought there were 3. Okay, thank you.
You bet. Glad you called in, Jim. Richard Davenport wrote a really good story over the weekend on the 2. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think anyone is planning on these guys to be major contributors to the team. I think these guys, one of them was playing Division II basketball last year at Hawaii Pacific. And he was a good shooter. Had a pretty decent 3-point shooting percentage. But I think these are guys that are going to come in, be practice players, role players, get some minutes here and there. But they're nothing like the splash Calipari made with his first 8 or 9. I guess Trevin Brazile coming back to Arkansas was number 9. DJ Wagner was 8. And then you had these 2 guys. And one of them was a decent player, California. You remember the last name? We were trying to give it a go. It was difficult to say.
You have to look at it.
We're going to have to get a pronunciation from the University of Arkansas, just like they did with Big Z. We're going to have to get the official pronunciation for this guy. But anyway, to answer your question, I don't think these are guys that are going to get a lot of playing time, to be honest with you.
Now, what Coach Cal said was these are guys who signed at the end. They're expected to do certain things as far as from a practice standpoint. But he said that, and they're not getting NIL like these other players that have already signed. But he said that doesn't mean that they can't get in there and work hard and surpass someone that's on the roster.
Jaden Caruleta. I think the W is silent. I'm going with that. Caruleta. How's that sound?
That sounds right.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
And Melo Sanchez. 10th and 11th players, according to Richard Davenport. Caruleta, 6'6", 180 pounds. Began his career as a Crusader. He transferred in Sun Valley Village Christian, where he played high school, averaged 14 points, team captain as a senior, and had scholarship offers from Murray State, interest from Pepperdine. So this was a high school kid. This wasn't a transfer. That's right. He was a high school kid. The other player, Sanchez, 6'4", 185 pounds, 2 years at Hawaii Pacific University, a Division II program, started all 29 games, 15 points, 5 rebounds a game last year, 35% from the three-point line.
That could be better.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to work on that three-point shot.
Let's go to Stat in Conway. What's up, Stat?
Hey, fellas, how's it going today?
It's good.
Good.
Today we celebrate. What do we celebrate today?
Bobby Bonilla Day?
That's it.
That's it. Man gets paid for not working. How sweet of a contract is that?
It's a great contract.
So, Joe, you need to work one of those contracts with Justin. You need to sit him down and line him out and try to get one of those.
Well, the thing is that Bobby Bonilla already had that money, and he left it on the table to be able to spread it out like that. And we saw Shohei Ohtani do something similar this year where it helped the Dodgers out for now, and he's deferring some money for 10 years. And he's going to start something similar here in 10 years. So that's the way to go about it. If you can afford to do it like that, where you can defer some payments, it's a great thing.
Yeah. I saw an interesting stat today that Brock Purdy is getting $200,000 less than Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah, he's getting the minimum.
Yeah. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Stat.
Have a good one, Stat.
I did read a story a couple of years ago, and they basically said if Bobby Bonilla would have taken all this money instead of getting the deferred payments and wisely invested it, he'd have come out on top better the other way. If he had just taken that lump sum payoff and just, invested, he could be getting more money than he actually is.
But in turn, it's costing the Mets a lot more money to pay him the way that they're paying him. Because now there's interest involved, and it's accrued over so many years.
I think at the time, though, it was such a chunk of money that it would have hurt the Mets to pay him off like that, to just hand over this chunk of money, the buyout. And so this was their way of trying to, hey, basically we can't afford to pay you all right now. I mean, they could, but it would have hurt their deposits or whatever bank that they had. Excuse me, got the hiccups again. But they didn't want to do that. So instead, they did these deferred payments to where it would look better on the books and it would help them out. And so in turn, yes, he's actually getting more than he would have by getting it every single year. But the argument on this story was if he would have taken that lump sum, invested it, it would have still added up more than what the Mets are giving out every single year.
Allen Iverson did something similar with Reebok. He has a lifetime contract, and he gets paid $1 million a year by Reebok.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of contracts right there. You got that guaranteed money coming in. I mean, I guess that would be like us winning the lottery, and getting the deferred payments every year.
No way there's a deferred payment, taking that lump.
You want it all.
Yes.
I always sign up for the lump sum, too. I don't know how long I'm going to live.
Exactly, and then it'd be different if the deferred payment would transfer over to one of your family members or somebody. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that would be my luck, right? You win it,
win the lottery, and now
die
you're
the next day. Ironic. Bo Jackson. What's Bo Jackson doing these days?
Bo Jackson just went into the Royals Hall of Fame.
Wow. Love me some Bo.
You know, I couldn't have done what I've done without the fans. You all are the rock of this city. You all make the city work. Everybody talks about, well, the Royals, they talk about the Chiefs and everything. They are one ingredient in the cake that make this city great. You all are the cake. So thank you for everything that you've done.
I looked up Friday, speaking of the Royals, when I was at work, we were doing a story on Hagen Smith, and I looked up a couple of mock drafts, and one of them was from MLB.com, and they had the Royals taking Hagen Smith at number 6. And so there are still a couple out there that have the Royals taking Chase Burns, the big flamethrower from Wake Forest, that transferred from Tennessee, taking him at 6, and then Hagen Smith going 7 to the St. Louis Cardinals. So that'll be some drama for Razorback fans and for Hagen on draft night to see where he ends up going, because I know a lot of people around here would love to see him go play for the Cardinals, and then you get up to Northwest Arkansas, a lot of people up there would love to see him play for the Kansas City Royals.
Absolutely. So he could be close either way. Will says Mets had money invested in Bernie Madoff investment, so they thought that was going to pay them big.
That's right.
And they deferred Bonillo's money, and they lost all around.
That's right. Yep, I remember that story now. Maybe it was 60 Minutes. It was one of the big organizations. I remember watching that story. While we're talking baseball, former Gator, now current Texas Ranger, Wyatt Langford had a night.
Langford down the line, and it is a cycle! A 3-run home run, and Wyatt Langford, a triple, a double, a single, and a homer to cap it. And the first time ever on Sunday Night Baseball.
I think the fan might be throwing that ball right back. He doesn't want to, but he's being pressured, and Wyatt.
No, you can't throw. I'm sorry. Even though it's in the opposing team's park, kid hits for the cycle. You can't throw that one back. You got to keep that and cash it in.
He didn't know any better.
Did he throw it back?
I mean, I'm just hearing it from the clip.
So I didn't see it.
Yeah, they said.
You got to keep that and trade it for something for Wyatt Langford. I mean, Wyatt Langford wasn't in the Rangers' plans immediately this year. He went to spring training and just tore it up and forced them to keep him. And then the Rangers have had their fair share of injuries, and it's forced him to play, and he's played well for the Rangers, and now this guy's in the big leagues for forever now. I mean, he's a part of their current plans, no longer their future plans. He is part of the plan right now. Rangers got to get healthy. They got to learn to hit the fastball. That's what's crazy about this team, Joe. They are one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball against the fastball.
And they're coming off a World Series win.
You would think a team that hit as well as they did last year on their way to winning the World Series, that the fastball wouldn't be the problem. It would be the off-speed stuff. It is the fastball. They swing and miss at that more than anybody in Major League Baseball as a team. It's just blows my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I know, you got guys throwing, but it's not just the guys throwing 100. There was a guy the other night, I think for the Orioles, 94, 95, 93, location, I guess. But swing and miss, and they continue just to be befuddled by the fastball. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we can take some phone calls, 661-1037 if you want to jump in here. 661-1037. Big Joe coming in hour number 3, so may not be able to take many phone calls. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Join the Zone Wednesday, broadcasting live from the brand new Lumber One and Lumber One Design Center in Little Rock with everything you need for your summer projects.
This is SportsCenter
Arkansas baseball added Rhode Island first baseman Michael Anderson to the roster via the transfer portal yesterday. Anderson had 13 home runs and 42 RBIs while batting .252 with a .423 on-base percentage for the Rams this year. He had a Division I baseball record 12 RBIs on March 20th against Stonehill. And in Arkansas football news, the Razorbacks lost a commitment from Georgia three-star offensive lineman Bear McWhorter. McWhorter was the second commit of the 2025 class. He was a notable recruit as he bought a billboard in 2021 with it stating, "Coach Pittman, I want to be a Hog." He holds offers from Alabama, Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, and others. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Dan Cook in North Little Rock, Steve Fisher in Stuttgart, or Jay Vandover in Little Rock.
Hey Arkansas, Montana with Hubbard Power Sports in Russellville. We're your Arkansas Can-Am and Sea-Doo dealer. Are you looking for your next adventure? On the road, on the water, or in the trails, we've got the ride for you. At Hubbard Power Sports, Can-Am, and Sea-Doo of Russellville, we are proud to say we offer the best customer service around. We've won multiple awards for our level of excellence in many different categories, but our customer service is the one we're the most proud of. Come and see us Monday through Saturday or give us a call. See our current inventory, apply for financing, and value your trade at our website, hubbardpowersports.com.
Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center in Benton proudly offers compassionate and loving care to our veterans, meeting the unique needs of every veteran who calls Heartland home. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
This is Pat Bradley, and I'll be on Morning Mayhem Weekly, presented by Mickey Hennard and his staff at Hennard Foothills Equipment in Searcy. They're your leaders in hay equipment and your local hometown Kubota dealer, no matter where you live. Take exit 42 in Searcy.
Friends make everything better. At Bark Bar and Grill, you have a place where you can hang out with all your friends. At Bark Bar and Grill, feast on the best burger in Little Rock. Enjoy bottomless mimosas or the 20 cold beers on tap. Plus, you can catch the game on the largest outdoor TV in Arkansas. I mean, seriously, why settle for less? But hold on a minute, there's more fun outside. Their dog-friendly outdoor spot is your playground for live entertainment, games, and laid-back fun. It's not just a meal, it's an experience. Bark Bar and Grill on South Spring Street.
If you've ever stood overlooking a bluff on Pettigene, floated the Buffalo, taken a leisurely drive through miles of Delta farmland, or even witnessed a brilliant sunset from your own backyard, you know Arkansas is full of beauty. Naturally, that leaves no room for trash. Get litter out of the picture and keep Arkansas in its natural state, clean and green. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. A message from this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Yeah. And you say Shy City? Shy City? Shy City.
I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then?
Yeah.
Do you think about me now and then? 'Cause I'm coming home again.
I met this girl when I was 3 years old, and what I love most, she had so much soul. She said, "Excuse me, little homie, I know you don't know me, but my name is Wendy, and I like to." And from that point, I never blow her off. Come from out of town, I like to show her off. They like to act tough, she like to tone them off and make them straighten up their hat, cause she know they soft. And when I grew up, she showed me.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Monday. It's a different feeling Monday, though, Joe, because
we know what's around the corner.
Yeah. So it feels like Wednesday.
It does. It does.
Just like a couple more days, and it's even better than a Wednesday because it's a 4-day weekend.
It was a typical Monday getting going, but once you got going and then you realize that Okay, it's only 3 days. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's get it.
I never felt like it was a typical Monday. I woke up. First of all, I woke up refreshed after sleeping like 9 hours last night. But I woke up and I was like, July 1st, here we go. Couple days, grind, and then we're back at it and having some fun for 4 days.
It felt like a typical Monday to me, but we're almost there.
All right, let's take some phone calls. 49er John is up next. What's up, 49er John?
How y'all fellas doing today?
Fantastic.
Everything good in y'all world?
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, guys, I was thinking, it's 3 words that, okay, I just found out hearing the word nepotism. I heard that word a few years back, but I never knew what it meant up until this situation with LeBron and them. Nepotism, panhandling, and brothel. Why they won't just call those words what they really are? Why they have to put those fancy names to it, or whorehouse, to somebody begging, and to somebody trying to look out for their family? Why we have to have those big words like that?
It's a word. That describes what you said. Somebody looking out for their family.
Why do we have words for any word?
I'm just saying that nepotism word. That threw me way off. I'm like, nepotism, but it's all good. And so, guys, Chris Paul signing with my Spurs. I hated this man for over 20 years. I despise everything about Chris Paul. Now he's on my team. It takes me back to when Ken Norton signed with the 49ers. I hated that guy till he came home, as well as Larry Allen.
Yeah.
I hated Larry Allen.
T.O.
Thought he was a big...
I did the same thing. First. No, I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, couldn't stand T.O.
Oh, what about Dion?
That was different. I respected Dion a lot.
And what about, what's his name, number 94? I can't stand him
Charles
now.
Haley.
Charles Haley.
Yeah.
5 championships, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a winner.
5. He was the first to 5. And he don't get the respect he deserves either. And, guys, this free agent class is the worst class ever. Wouldn't you agree?
You think so?
Yes. If Klay Thompson breaking news and he on his last leg, come on, guy. That guy, it's the reason why Golden State got rid of him. He's on his he's collecting a nice check, though, before he leaves. And then if Paul George, your best player...
Wait, hold on. It's not like Klay Thompson is making $40 million plus or anything. He's got a decent check that players that are breaking into the league and getting that initial contract, he's getting paid that type of money. So he's getting paid the type of money where you break in, he's getting that on the way out. So it's not like he's getting paid a lot.
Yeah, but just look at this free agent class, guys. It's the worst. We talk about the draft. This whole year of just NBA is just, I'm ready to move on. 31 days until football, guys. August the 1st, right? Or is it August the 3rd?
Somewhere around there.
I'm not sure when they report.
Oh, they reported.
No, I'm talking about
July.
the Hall of Fame game.
Hall of Fame game.
The game itself. Yeah, they'll report later this month.
Yeah, around the 24th or so is when they all start reporting.
Is it just me or this year going by fast?
It seems to be going by fast. You know what that means, though, right?
What's that?
When the years and the days start going by fast, it just means you're getting older.
You ain't lying, man. I'm about to turn 45. And then one more thing, guys. Let me give you my. I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna give you my 4-team, my 49er Mount Rushmore. You all should know who it is. Montana.
Rice.
Gary Rice. Steve Young.
Okay.
And the greatest safety ever. I don't care what Sean Taylor, rest in peace. You're not that. Ronnie Lott. Anytime you cut off your finger to play a game, no one tops that.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good day.
Thanks.
That's a great Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
It was easy for him to narrow it down.
I would have thought there would have been instead of 2 quarterbacks, another position player.
No, that makes sense, though. You're talking about those 3 in Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Montana. Like, they come to mind right away, Hall of Famers. And Ronnie Lott is a Hall of Famer also, but those guys, like Steve Young, when you think about left-handed quarterbacks, you're thinking about Steve Young.
Yeah.
When you think about mobile quarterbacks, You think about Steve Young, and he was that combination. So he was a mobile left-handed quarterback before Michael Vick.
Yep. It's his team. He can pick whoever he wants to and put him on there. I was just trying to think of other great 49ers besides having 2 quarterbacks. I think that should be a rule.
I don't know. I don't know if you can do that, though. Depends on the franchise.
We need to do that. Maybe one day this week.
Because if you're thinking about, I guess, Troy Aikman with a 3, that's where it would start. But there would be some that would argue for Roger.
Would you put a coach on there? Shouldn't Bill Walsh be on there?
You could. Yeah, absolutely you could. Because you're talking about representing the franchise altogether. So even if you wanted to put the owner, one of the owners of a franchise, you could do that.
How about, Klay Thompson got 3 years, $50 million. So that's what, roughly $16 million and some change every year?
Yep.
And Isaiah Joe got
12
for 48, 12. So your comparison's right. This is Isaiah's first contract after his rookie contract, correct? This is probably Clay's last contract as he's going out. So it's that, hopefully for Isaiah, the big one's coming after this one, and but Clay's already gotten his. Now he's coming back down.
Yeah, he signed what's called a mid-level exception, and that's what the Lakers were trying to work out. So it came down to 2 teams with him, the Mavs and the Lakers. He has history with the Lakers. The Mavs were able to pay him a little bit more. And then it became a wonder of, with the Lakers, were they willing to put in multiple years like the Mavs did? And that could have made the difference, where you're talking about a 3-year deal. The Lakers may have only been discussing a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah, and that's guaranteed money.
Yes.
Take the money. Take that 3rd year. Ben and Bryant says Vegas has Hogs football at 4.5 wins. Over or under? That's the same at Bet Saracen we looked at earlier. 4.5 wins. Over or under? You know, I'm an optimistic person. That's just my nature. So I always look at the bright side of things and like to look. I like to be optimistic in life. That's just, to me, I don't want to walk around being negative. It's just no way for me, in my opinion, no way to live. So I think they'll be better than what we think, or at least I hope they'll be better, because I don't want another fall of us talking about another loss week after week after week and all the negativity that comes along with it. So I'm hopeful that it'll be a better season because, look, I bet if we took a poll on how many wins you think this team is going to get, that poll will come in probably right around the Vegas line, right around 4 wins. There'll be some that think 5. There'll be some that think 3. Very few are going to say 6 or 7. So that's where we are. It is the bar is set low for this season. So I'm hopeful that this team is going to surpass the bar and everyone's going to be excited, because there have been in years past, and maybe fairly or unfairly, that the bar was too high and people they didn't live up to expectations. Didn't come close to meeting those expectations. I think the expectations this year are so low that it's very possible that this team surpasses the expectations, jumps over that very low bar, and people will be okay with the season. Maybe they'll be happy and they'll far surpass the expectations, but I think the bar is set very low on this team.
Yeah, go over with it. The thought is, so first of all, you have 4 non-conference games. They have a tough non-conference game against Oklahoma State. And so if they happen to drop that game, now you have to make up some ground somewhere in conference play. And we know how difficult the conference is. So 4.5 is a good number to set it. And so with that, some people may take the under, because there are people that don't believe that they'll win all their non-conference games and then only have to win a conference game. They feel like they're going to drop somewhere and then have to make up some ground. But go over.
Yeah, I would go over also. I'm excited about Petrino being back and his offense. I'm excited about some of the transfers. And I'm very excited when it's all said and done about Taylon Green. And he surprises a lot of people with how well he can throw the football. I think we've seen glimpses of what he can do running the football. But put him in Petrino's offense, I hope they find something. Let's go to Ryan in Hot Springs. What's up, Ryan?
Oh, give me the over big time.
Okay, I like it. See?
Here's the. I mean, I'm gonna regurgitate some stuff that I've already been saying, but I mean, you take this offense and you give them somebody with an actual offensive direction, and we're a bowl team last year, and it's not even close. So I think you come in with that mental edge with Petrino, and I think you turn stuff around, because if defense will give us what they gave us last year, they don't even have to improve. Just give us what we gave last year, and we're a bowl team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think it's that close. And I think a lot of people are kind of down on our running back group that I saw, and everybody forgets how good Rashad was as a freshman. And I think where they're going to fix the offensive line, I think you're going to see them run the ball much better. And I think you're going to see a more focus with the run game than you are the passing this year. I really do. And it's not because the passing is necessarily going to be bad. I just genuinely think that's just going to be our strength of this team is running the ball, and then getting the ball out to our tight end. And then when we need to throw it downfield, we'll be able to Armstrong and Satania if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I definitely think we'll make a bowl game, provided we won't have no major outbreak of the injury bug. I do think that we'll bowl team next year. That's my thoughts. Hope you have a great day and go all.
All right, thanks, Ryan. I will say, last year's team was dysfunctional. They had some issues, and some of the issues have moved on, but the offensive line was bad. And they've replaced some of those guys, brought in 2 transfers. And you guys know I'm a big fan of Fernando Carmona. He's going to be the left tackle, and great character, just charismatic. He's a fun guy, and hopefully that's going to be our NIL guy, Joe. I've already talked to Acree about it. I want to have him on every week, because he's just so fun to talk to on the radio, and I think he's going to be a good player for him at left tackle. But this team last year had issues, and those issues hopefully have been cleaned up, and I think they've learned about some of the ways they spend their NIL money, and I think that's going to be just, what's the old saying, addition by subtraction? Mm-hmm. I think that's going to help the locker room. And you're going to see a better team just because of that. Now, you throw in what Ryan just said about Petrino and running the ball. That was what the whole spring was about. That was emphasis number 1. Coach Pittman told him, we've got to be able to run the ball. We've got to be able to run the ball when the other team knows we're going to run the ball. And that's what they worked on all spring. And when I heard Petrino say, yeah, we're going to be able to run the ball this fall, that got me a little excited. So if you can run the ball, they're going to be in some games and have a chance.
Well, he's always been known, Coach Petrino, as a dynamic play caller, and the offensive explosion. You think of where the game is and passing in the way that teams pass the ball. So that's something that you think of first and foremost with him. But he's always said that you want to be able to run the ball when they expect to run, and pass when they expect to pass, and change it up and keep the defense off balance. So you want to be able to do certain things when they're expecting it, but also give them some unexpected, and just be a multiple offense altogether.
Hopefully he'll bring some fun. That's all I want. I'm not even thinking, anything crazy. I'm just 6. Give me 6 wins. Have us happy half of the year, right? 6-6. Give us, and be competitive. Be in games. Improve to where you see, you know what, they're making strides. Cap's in Mayflower. What's up, Cap?
Hey, I sure enjoy you guys' show. I make sure almost every day I tune into it, and I've only called in one time. This is my second call, but a little while ago when you were talking to 49er John, and you guys were talking about great 49ers of the past, and when I was a kid, for a while I lived in Northern California, and there was a promotion at a market, and my stepdaddy took me down there, and Y.A. Tittle and his receiver Billy Wilson were there, And I got their autographs, and I got to shake Y.A. Tittle's hand and Billy's, and it's something I'll never forget. And but it was so disappointing because it was kind of like the Hogs lately. They just couldn't get over the hump, and then they sent Y.A. to New York, and darned if they didn't win the Super Bowl. So that's the way it goes sometimes. But I still admire him, and I'll never get over the picture of him the next year where he's on his knees in the end zone with his helmet off, blood's running down his face, and, his career was over. But anyway, he was a nice guy, and I just wanted to pitch that forward. And I'm with you with the Hogs. I think we do great. I mean, people have to realize we're one of the smallest population bases in the United States, except for about Alaska. I mean, we're a little state when it comes to numbers of people that are here, and yet we're competing with the biggest boys on the planet, and so we're doing pretty good, I think. I don't know if people get so upset, but I think we do pretty good for the amount of people that are here, and what we have.
One of my second job, Cap, was in Marshall, Texas. And I was working for the Shreveport TV station, but they had a bureau in Marshall. And, of course, Y.A. Tittle was born in Marshall and would come back from time to time. And this was back in the late 90s, and he had a book come out. And I got to go and see him get the book, and I think it's autographed. I got to find it. But that was cool. And I just remembered how big his hands were, just even at that age. He lived on another 20 years, but still big hands. What a great he was. It was you could when I was talking with that guy, you knew you were talking with somebody important. He had that aura.
Well, being just a young boy, I can't remember if I was about 8 or 10, but like you say, him and Billy Wilson, they looked like giants to me. And I mean, if it was on TV, we watched it, and otherwise I always listened to it on the radio. But they just couldn't quite do it, And then when he got to New York, well, I'm glad he finally got to, get a Super Bowl win. And anyway, there's a lot of great people involved in sports, and those are just some of them. But you got a great show, and I appreciate you guys so much. It brightens up the day every day, and I hope you have a nice 4th of July.
Thanks, Cap. Take care. By the way, Cap, 1960 was his last year with San Francisco. Y.A. Tittle went to the Giants in 1961.
Yeah, and he's known from most as a Giant, even though he spent the majority of his career with the Niners, but it's because of those accomplishments, winning Super Bowls, winning MVPs. Now, he did win MVP with the Niners, but winning Super Bowl, winning MVP with the Giants, those are things that stand out.
We got to take a break. Went a little long, but that was a good call. We'll take more calls when we come back. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
It's the July 4th Firecracker Blowout Sale. Going on now at Bradford Marine and ATV locations statewide. Sea-Doo season is now. So get on the lake in the Sea-Doo GTI Fish Pro Scout 130 with deep discounts. And with hunting season just around the corner, you must see the 2024 Can-Am Defender XMR HT10. Offered as low as 1.99% for 36 months. Don't miss the July 4th Firecracker Blowout Sale at Bradford Marine and ATV. Selling fun since 1971.
At CertaPro Painters, we pride ourselves on beautifying and protecting the homes in our community. For some, though, the dream of owning a home is simply a dream. Our friends at Habitat for Humanity are looking to make that dream a reality for 2 deserving families. Having reached their goal of 10 homes this year, they've set out to remodel 2 more homes, but they need our help. $60,000 in 60 days is what it will take to change the lives of 2 families. And you can donate at habitatcentralar.org/give or call CertaPro at 501-223-8988.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
July 4th doorbusters are happening now at Lowe's. For a limited time only, save $70 on a Charbroil 4-burner Performance Series gas grill. Was $249, now $179. And get 50% off Harbor Breeze 48-foot LED outdoor string lights to brighten up your patio for summer. Shop these deals before they're gone, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 7/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The recent passing of Joe Flaherty reminds me of how insanely funny this SCTV legend was. From his portrayals of Guy Caballero, Rocco, Sammy Maudlin, and the heckler who taunted Happy Gilmore, as well as other roles. Flaherty never forgot his humble roots, growing up poor in Pittsburgh before finding his stride as a comedic actor. He said, "I enjoyed getting laughter from the audience." And Joe, we enjoyed that laughter too. Thanks for all the fun. And tell William B. Williams and Lola Heatherton we all said hello. You want to be greeted with a hello and a welcome to Doublebee's? Come on in one of our 34 locations in Arkansas. Not only that, our sandwiches and snacks are a whole lot better than those tasteless sandwiches Happy Gilmore was pitching. Doublebee's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Doublebee's.
Hey folks, Trey Johnson here with HJ Trailer Sales in Hot Springs. HJ Trailer Sales is here for all your trailer needs. We can handle any of your repairs and parts for trailers, steel or aluminum. Need a trailer but times are tough? We have financing options for everyone. Like a special on all air tow trailers, only $100 a month payment for the first 3 months. Family owned and operated. Check us out today at hjtrailersales.com or on Facebook.
Get ready for the new alternative firearm season at Fort Thompson in Sherwood. Winchester XPR bolt action rifle and .350 Legend with threaded barrel, only $479.90 while supplies last. They will go quick, so get to Fort Thompson today.
Tap Time with Bryce Nall and Scott Parton, presented by New Province Brewing, returns this Thursday at 7. Tap Time is Little Rock's premier radio show for beer lovers by beer lovers. Tap Time Thursday from 7 till 8 on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the Edwards Food Giant Studios.
Wrapping up the second hour of Out of Bounds. Big night for soccer. Only disappointing thing for me, Joe, this huge United States soccer match. So big. It's on FS1. Why can't we put it on the Big Fox at 8 o'clock tonight?
What else do they have going on?
Nothing. I mean, it's summer. Come on.
Yeah, because a number of the matches have been on Fox.
Yeah.
And there was one that was moved the other night. But, yeah, it's just a matter of what they have going on.
Tune in at 8 o'clock on Fox and see what they have on. And tell me tomorrow. Should they put soccer on instead of this whatever they're showing? I guess they really wanted us to be able to do our newscast at 9 o'clock. So
they don't want you to miss too many of those.
U.S. taking on Uruguay tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 1 in Kansas City. All right, here's the scenario. If U.S. wins, they advance as long as Panama draws or loses. If Panama wins, the U.S. will need to have a better goal differential, and right now the U.S. has a 2-goal better differential. If U.S. draws tonight, they only advance with a Panama draw or loss. If the U.S. loses, the only way they advance is with a Panama loss, and then they still have to have a better goal differential. So U.S. would have to lose a little less worse than Panama losing. Mm-hmm. But Panama is playing the worst team in the group, and the Americans are playing the best team in the group, or the team with the best record.
Yes.
So they got to have a good game tonight. They got to really, what this tells me, you got to go in and plan. If you're the United States, you got to plan on Panama winning. So you got to go out and win, and you got to keep an eye on that score. So you have that better goal differential.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot to worry about, but they put themselves in that position by losing to Panama. If you beat Panama, then you don't have a lot to worry about there.
You had France and Belgium on Fox earlier today, and Portugal and Slovenia are about to start, I guess, on Fox. A little doubleheader. I guess they thought 3 soccer matches in one day was just way too much.
That may have been. And speaking of that, England, they beat Slovakia. England had a tough time, though, with Slovakia, and they had to win at the end.
What a fantastic goal! England won, Slovakia won.
Straight out of the Jude Bellingham book of footballing miracles. Delivered winners in both the Classico. Might become a factor. Palmer to swing one end. Dubravka again is good at reaching those, isn't he? Ezek played it back in. Kane! 2-1 England! All turned around! Harry Kane!
What a reversal of fortunes. It looks like they're about to lose, and minutes later, they not only tie it up, but they get the winning goal.
Yeah, so the initial goal that they scored was in stoppage time. So think about that.
Wow.
If you're talking about time that's added on at the end of the game, they scored then, and it's almost it's really hard to score at that point because the team is really focused in on playing defense any way they can. So they score in stoppage time, and then in extra time, that's when they get the game-winning goal.
By the way, Bolivia and Panama play at the same time as the United States and Uruguay. So
that's by design.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure somewhere, somehow, they'll know the score of that game. Find out at half.
Monitoring.
Yeah, and then really in the second half, they'll be keeping up with it to know. I mean, let's say Panama wins 3-0. Then all of a sudden, your goal differential of 2 is down, and you're up. What happens if they tie in goal differential? Does that then go to Panama since they won head up?
We'll have to look into those scenarios again.
Win by 2. Then they would have to win by 4,
yeah,
which is possible. All right, Joe Klein's coming up next. Hour number 3. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free insurance review, see Shelter agent Jeff Hodge or Jay Hellman, Little Rock, or Bo Beavis in Cabot.
Join the zone each Monday for Game Balls and Jockstraps, brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Find out who made the best, average, and worst headlines in sports and entertainment each Monday as Justin and DJ give you their Game Balls and Jockstraps on the zone from 10 to 1. It's all brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Call today to get your landscape updated to a whole new level and be listening for Game Balls and Jockstraps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
Injured? Let's talk about getting help now.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888.
Whether injured at night, on a weekend, or a holiday,
dial 8 for Rainwater, Holton, Sexton.
888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock. Powered by you, the fan.
Fire it up! I'm listening!
The Mad Butcher grocery store in Fordyce will reopen tomorrow, more than a week after the mass shooting. The store will operate on limited hours, which are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 4 people were killed and several others injured in that shooting. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders visited Fordyce over the weekend. She toured the town to recognize the community's grief and help in the healing journey. She stopped at the Dallas County Sheriff's Office, the Medical Center, and the Mad Butcher store. Time is running out to collect signatures to get several initiatives on the November ballot. Friday is the deadline for collectors to gather more than 90,000 signatures from at least 50 counties. Some of the initiatives needing that support include items related to abortion, education, taxes, medical marijuana, and voting rights. For the Buzz Radio Network, this is Pat Walker.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
It's going to be partly cloudy today in Little Rock, but later this afternoon, a little sunnier. We'll get up to around 90 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, a low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, it's going to turn hotter again. We'll get up to 95 with a mostly sunny sky. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Riverfront Steakhouse Special, dinner for two for $60. 10-ounce filet, fried shrimp, 2 sides, and our famous salad bar, only $60. Good Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night.
Listen each Friday during Drive Time Sports for the basketball insider in Arkansas. It's Pure Sweat Skills and Training's Bart Reed. Made possible by Martin Orthopedics, with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village. Staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care.
Hey, Raj, have you checked out Scoops in Little Rock?
The new homemade ice cream spot with the drive-thru? Yep, it's amazing.
Right. They've got coffee, cookies, pastries, and breakfast sandwiches, all local brands.
We know about Scoops' one-of-a-kind ice cream, but the Blackberry Market scones, the killer croissantery breakfast sandwiches, and for me, the Lava's coffee. And they're open 365 days a year, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is perfect morning coffee for me and a late-night ice cream run for you.
Gotta love it. I'm going to be there every day, Raj. Scoops at the corner of Broadway and 3rd in downtown Little Rock. Come taste the best.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. November 3rd at Oaklawn Event Center in Hot Springs. Tickets on sale now at oaklawn.com. Don't miss Nikki Glazer. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty. With a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
I'm Joseph Pena of the Arkansas State basketball team. Summertime is here. Whether you're going to the lake or to the beach, you need to go to Bell & Sword in Conway. Great menswear. New shipment of Peter Millar polos and short sleeve shirts. The performance shirts from Johnny O, sports coats and slacks, Genteel long sleeve shirts and polos, Maui Jim sunglasses. Remember, for a wedding or any formal affair, Bell & Sword has the finest formal wear in Central Arkansas. Bell & Sword is the only men's store in Central Arkansas with Taylor on staff. 1011 Oak Street, Facebook and Instagram.
Tune in each day to Drive Time Sports to hear Trey Biddy talk all things Razorbacks. Brought to you by Chris Crane Hyundai, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer, and Genesis of Conway, Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
If one game can get you into the Hockey Hall of Fame, this was it.
Hobie Baker starred for Princeton University in hockey and football and remains the only athlete in both the college football and hockey halls of fame.
The whole atmosphere was electric when he was playing. You couldn't ignore him. This kind of blonde Adonis.
As famous as he was in his day, he is little remembered now. 30 for 30 podcast presents Searching for Hobie Baker. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Live from the Signal Media Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. Weekend recap brought to you by Fleet Management Services, serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years. They're your small to mid-sized specialist. When you need someone to service your fleet and get your employees back on the road quick, call 501-375-3672.
Out of bounds, Wess Moore and Joe Franklin. Joe, what was the best thing you saw this weekend?
Ooh, UFC 303. Alex Pereira.
Oh,
remember we talked about that?
Yes. You guaranteed me a win.
And he came through big time when he, at the end of the first round, he gets a strike to the head and puts the opponent down. And then come back. And if the time wouldn't have been up, if it wasn't the end of the round, probably would have been the end of the fight then. So he comes back, beginning of the next round, kick to the head, another strike, it's over.
Gone. Yeah, that was a vicious kick to the head. I mean, it was like heel to the cheek, nose area, and out.
And he said that he saw something on film where the guy would always lean to the right. And so he gave him he leaned in to the right and he gave him a left kick to the head and it was over.
Caught a foot to the face. That's not a good. The best thing I saw this weekend is Joe Klein joins us. Joe, Friday I was playing the horses and had a couple of tips here and there, you know, about this race, that race at Churchill, and I'd played the next to last race, and there was one race left, and I was getting kind of busy at work, and the Railbird, Lane Whitman. He's a good handicapper down at Oaklawn. He had sent me some picks for Churchill, and I looked at his picks for the last race, and I just, all right, I'll take these 4, make a little try box, and as soon as I made the bet, Allison called. And I talked to her for a minute, and then somebody came in the office. I was like, all right, I got to go. And so I dealt with that issue, and then it's about news time. You know, I got to go. So I did the news, and then totally forgot about the bet. Saturday morning, I wake up, and I was looking at Churchill at some of the races, and I looked at my money in my account. I was like, holy cow, that race hit. And I went back and looked, hit the trifecta that I didn't even get to watch for $596. That's the best thing I saw all weekend.
That's probably hit. You didn't watch it. If you'd have watched it, it wouldn't have hit.
That's what I told Acre, what he said too. Maybe we don't need to be watching. I was down and at a buddy's house on Lake Hamilton, and there was a race I bet and had a little tip, and I bet the horse, and I kept losing reception, kept freezing up on me, and it get around the backstretch, and the horse is like second, and comes around the corner. It looks like he's making a move. It froze again, and it froze, and it froze, and it froze, and it finally comes on, and the horse won. My buddy's like, I think that tells you, Wes, you need to quit watching and just bet it because
it's an omen.
Yes. What's the best thing you saw this weekend, Joe?
Oh, sports-wise or just in general?
In general, that was.
I got a 2-year-old granddaughter that was swimming in the pool. And I went over to their house and peeked around the corner, and she saw me and started laughing. It was pretty. She laughed for probably about 10 minutes. I'd stick my head out and look at her, and she just, the big, deep, hard laugh. It was pretty funny. I think she was looking at me because she was saying I look funny.
Well, it's probably odd seeing somebody poke their head above an 8-foot fence.
Yeah.
Never seen that
before. What are you standing on?
That's awesome. What do you think about some of these moves today in the NBA?
Yeah, it's crazy now with this new collective bargaining agreement because they have this, they call it the second apron, but basically what it is a hard salary cap. I mean, you can't, it's like football. You can't, I mean, you can go over it, but if you go over it, you're taxed
on it so much.
And then your ability to do things, trades and all these things, you're very limited. So nobody wants to hit that threshold. And I think what it's done is they're trying to get away from super teams, I think, to where teams can just, load up and pay a tax. I think they've added some restrictions along with the tax. And so, like the Clippers, they wanted to keep Paul George, but they didn't. The same thing with Klay Thompson. They tried to work something out, but they didn't have the cap room, and it was going to put them at that threshold. I think that's why you saw LeBron James opt out. He was hoping to lure Klay Thompson there, or somebody, maybe still is, by him taking a little bit less money. But no, I mean, I think it's a good fit for Dallas. Klay Thompson, a shooter that doesn't need the ball. You got two guys that really need the ball. He's a catch and shoot guy. I think Paul George is an excellent wing. It fits him perfectly. If Embiid can get – Embiid to me is like Luka. He's got to get a little leaner, a little stronger for his endurance and his ability to be able to play throughout the year. If Embiid can come in really good shape with George and Maxey, that's a really good three right there. And I think, again, Dallas had a good fit. And it's a little surprised by Hartenstein, what he got. I mean, I'm not surprised after everything the Knicks did that he left because they prioritized their money. But I was surprised at what he got, man. He got paid.
It may have been a product of this is something that the Thunder were missing the entire season. Yeah. They never traded for a big, and this was a hole that they had. So now maybe you do overpay for someone when you really have a need for it.
Well, and they're so young. I mean, they're not really up against it as far as the tax or the salary cap stuff. A lot of their guys are still in their first contract, so I mean, it's worth a shot.
Is this bad news for Jalen Williams?
No, they play different positions.
No, I think I don't think so. I mean, Jalen's a role player. I think this, you're going to have Holmgren and Hartenstein, and then I think Jalen's kind of a 4-5. I think that's your 3-man rotation right there. Also,
I thought they had somebody else, and Jalen was coming in off the bench for somebody.
No, they had Holmgren, Jalen. They had another guy that was kind of a big guy. I can't remember who it was, so it wasn't anybody.
I mean, like you were talking about, they're so young that they play a number of players.
I know who you're talking about. I mean, I don't know. I can't. But I can kind of guess and see what you're talking about.
Because I know against the Mavericks, he kept coming in off the bench.
Yeah, and I think you also, again, Holmgren. You worry about his he's a little frail, so I think you worry about that a little bit. But I don't think so. I mean, he kind of comes in, I think, and plays a role for them.
Gives them energy.
Yeah, if he can, continually to work on, get better at that 3-point shot, he could really, stick around for a long time because he's an unbelievable passer, good defender. Just get to where he could knock that 3 down with a little better regularity, and he could have himself a nice little run.
So you like Klay to the Mavericks? You think this is a good move?
I do. I mean, I think it was what I was hearing. It was the Lakers or the Mavericks, and I like it better than the Lakers. I mean, I think the Mavericks are a better team. They got, I think he's a good fit because again, he's a catch and shoot guy. And so he's not a guy that needs the ball to pound it. They got 2 guys like that. I think he's got some experience. I think this last year, the first half of last year, he was not very good. But I think the latter part of last year, he put up some really good numbers. So it was really kind of, I think, getting his footing and coming back from those 2 horrific injuries. I think he was getting a little more comfortable, both physically and mentally dealing with that and mentally getting over it. So, and he's a pro's pro. I mean, he's and I think they need that from the standpoint of leadership in the locker room and his experience in big situations. So, I like it.
As far as LeBron taking less money, he's showing the willingness to do that, but they didn't get Klay Thompson, and now they're going to look for someone else.
Yeah.
If they're not able to land someone else, then you can look for LeBron to possibly sign a max deal for the next 3 years, maybe a 2-1.
Yeah, I think he left it open to, try to go get somebody. I don't know who's still out there that, You had Clay. Clay, I think, would have been a good fit with them because LeBron's always good with a lot of shooters. You're bringing in Connect from Tennessee, who's a really good shooter, and then you got, if you were able to get Clay, I mean, but I still think the Lakers, they got to get somebody instead of D'Angelo Russell. He's not good enough to take them where they need to go, and then they got to find. J.J. Redick talked about shooting, so I think they got to find some more shooting.
And with that, you're saying that you don't see anybody else really out there, and D'Angelo Russell, he could be on the move. That's probably how they're going to have to go about doing it, through trade.
Yeah, they got to try to, everybody's you got some pretty good players out there that, have high salaries that are in the last year of their deal that teams are attracted to, like D'Angelo Russell, because next year they come off the books. Mm-hmm. So, there's no telling what they might be able to pull off.
Joe Klein hanging out with us, and Joe, today Texas and Oklahoma joined the SEC.
Yeah.
The SEC grew.
It's official.
It is official.
They had twins today.
Football wise, got Texas on the roster. And basketball wise, it'll be fun to go. I guess they'll go to Norman and play that game. What do you think they bring basketball wise to the SEC?
Two good teams, two really good. Another couple of programs that are really good. Porter's a really good coach. Gosh dang, I'm looking at the guy at Texas. I can't remember his name.
That took over for Beard's assistant.
Rodney. Yeah, right. I think he's a terrific coach too. They have money, especially Texas, so they're going to be able to get in on anybody NIL wise or portal guys. So that I think they'll always have talent. I'm interested to see Oklahoma in this. They haven't quite hit stride, I think, like they thought they would under Porter. They've had glimpses, so I'm interested to see how that goes. I think Porter's a terrific coach, but are the dollars there? Their facility's not very good. They need a better facility. They got some work to do basketball-wise.
The Big 12 was awesome in basketball, has been.
Yeah.
What's the transition like for them going to the SEC? Because it is a different type of basketball.
Yeah, I think to me, the SEC is a little deeper. Not to say the Big 12 wasn't. Big 12 has and still has terrific teams, but I think it's a little deeper. I think it's has a little more physicality to it, in my opinion. I just think from the standpoint you get, you have teams that again have the resources to go get these, potential pros, and these potential pros are usually a little bigger, a little more physical, a little taller. And again, no slight on the Big 12, but I just think in those two areas there's a little more depth. How can you say? Look at the coaching in the SEC. Not slighting the Big 12 at all, but my gosh, Beard, Barnes, Calipari. That's just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big boy league, man. It's for big boys.
That'll be an interesting part. They're not going to change their style of play immediately. They're still going to try to play fast, get up and down the court. But if they're not able to do that at a high rate, then you can see in years to come they'll adjust to the style of play in SEC.
Yeah, everybody wants to shoot the three, and everybody wants to run. I think where the difference is, can you find – again, you saw with Arkansas, you saw with Kentucky last year, you even saw with Oklahoma or all these teams, is that do you have guys that are tough enough and mature enough to guard? You got to. Again, I'm not saying that you guard and you can average, you hold somebody to 58 points a game, but I think when you look at UConn, when you look at Purdue, those were two teams. They tried to tempo you. They tried to go up, but they had a little bit of everything. They could guard. They had the kid that got drafted from UConn. He could guard anybody. The wing player. I mean, that went to San Antonio. I mean, that dude's a man.
Yes.
I mean,
Stephon Castle.
Yeah. I mean, he's a man now. I mean, he could guard you, and then you had the big boy Klingen in there, and they had guys that could guard. They had guys that could score. They had everything. And Purdue, I thought, had a little bit of everything. They could guard you and hold you down a little bit if they weren't shooting it good. I think where a lot of teams had trouble, your Tennessees, your Kentucky, obviously, they didn't have it on the Tennessee would guard you, but sometimes offensively they would just, they would put up a 55 or a 60, and they'd have a glaring hole in one of those areas. Whereas I think UConn, who's kind of the standard right now, they could score every night in multiple ways, inside out, fast, slow, and then they locked you up.
Bama is the team that seems like they probably get away with it more than any other team.
They were a funny team this year because, they weren't as good as last year's team. But their draw was better, and I think they came together a little bit. They had a little better. They had a different kind of size. The big kid that they got from the Dakotas,
Grant Nelson.
Yes, he was coming on, and he kind of gave him a stretch four that could put it on the floor a little bit. The Sears kid is a stud. He's just a stud, and they played, but they struggled defensively early on. But again, they go up and down, and their pace is so fast. They'll give up 75, 80 points a game, and you're like, they're not guarding anybody. Well, you look at that, points per 100 possessions, and you could see them during the year getting a little better and a little better. There's so many possessions in their games because of the pace that it's like the Golden State Warriors years ago when they first kind of started doing all this. They would talk about what a great defensive team they were, and teams were scoring 105 points a game. And you're sitting there going, old school guys are like, hell, they're giving up 105 a game, but they played so fast that points per 100 possessions was way up there. So it's kind of the hidden gem, because teams want to play fast, but if they can be decent defensively and be what they are offensively, that's how they roll you out. They'll put 130 on you, and you'll score. It's like when Arkansas played Kentucky at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Would we score 100 and something?
Yeah, like 108.
Yeah, but good news, we scored 108. Bad news,
115.
Yeah.
All right, we got Joe Klein with us in the studio. We'll take a break. When we come back, we can take some phone calls. I'll check the D3 Auto Sales text line. Got a big special coming up at Corky's for July 4th. I saw the good news over the weekend. We'll tell you about that, too. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
The Summer of Scoops continues Tuesday with Morning Mayhem at Scoops, Little Rock's new homemade ice cream restaurant at the corner of Broadway and 3rd Street in Little Rock.
This is Sports Center.
Arkansas baseball added Rhode Island first baseman Michael Anderson to the roster via the transfer portal yesterday. Anderson had 13 home runs and 42 RBIs while batting .252 with a .423 on-base percentage for the Rams this year. He had a Division I baseball record 12 RBIs on March 20th against Stonehill. And in Arkansas football news, the Razorbacks lost a commitment from Georgia 3-star offensive lineman Bear McWhorter. McWhorter was the second commit of the 2025 class. He was a notable recruit as he bought a billboard in 2021 with it stating, "Coach Pittman, I want to be a Hog." He holds offers from Alabama, Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, and others. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Edwards Food Giant presents Razorback Baseball color analyst and Drive Time Sports co-host Rick Schaefer every Tuesday morning on Morning Mayhem. Rick will share his special take on Razorback sports with the guys each week. Edwards Food Giant, the meat people, the only stop you'll ever have to make for your family's groceries.
It's Justin Acre for CertaPro Painters, and this time of year we're talking a lot about spring cleaning. How about a spring freshen up for your home so you can stand and admire it with a fresh color on the outside? These can be hard to reach places when we're talking about exterior painting. That's why I like to leave it to the pros from CertaPro Painters. Not only will they do a great job, this can also be dangerous work. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. Indoor or outdoor, it's CertaPro. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
I'm Joseph Pena with the Arkansas State basketball team. Great news. Bell & Sword in Conway has Maui Gym, sunglasses, cufflinks, wallets, colognes, and Martin Dingman Lodge, the only one in Arkansas with the widest selection of belts, shoes, bags, and accessories. Genteel polos, shirts, summer slacks. Remember, Bell & Sword is the only men's store in Central Arkansas with Taylor on staff. Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
This is Pat Bradley for River City Flooring. And when looking for a local flooring and carpet store, check out my friends River City Flooring in Maumelle and visit their showroom to see their wide selection of the highest quality carpet, wood, laminate, and vinyl flooring at the best prices. Over 5,000 square feet of waterproof flooring starting at $1.99. Free installation on all in-stock carpet. They do custom tile showers, backsplashes, granite countertops, and more. Visit River City Flooring on Maumelle Boulevard just off 430 and at rivercityflooringinc.com.
Celebrate 4th of July in downtown Little Rock at the 40th anniversary of Pops on the River, presented by the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. This free community event will begin at 5 p.m. with free activities for kids, food trucks, Watts 40, live music, and concluding with a tradition of the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra and a fireworks finale. Visit arkansasonline.com/pops or check today's Arkansas Democrat Gazette for more information.
Clark Power presents Countdown to Kickoff, Friday, July 26th at the Hall. Get a preview of the upcoming Razorback football season, including current players Isaiah Satania, Landon Jackson, and Luke Haas. Plus, we'll celebrate the 25th anniversary of the '99 Tennessee Redemption Game with Clint Sterner, Anthony Lucas, and Houston Nutt. VIP and general admission tickets are on sale now at LittleRockHall.com. Countdown to Kickoff, presented by Clark Power with Oaklawn Sports, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Chris Crane Hyundai, Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, and Fleet Management Services.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Joe Klein hanging out with us. Today's, we were talking about Bobby Bonilla Day, where he gets that big fat check on July 1st.
That's 25 years. When did that start?
I think around 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, and it goes through 2031.
That and there was a guy that sold, I don't know if you ever saw this years ago. He was with St. Louis Hawks or something in the ABA. He was a minority owner.
I saw that.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
And he somehow, like when he sold it, he said he basically gets a percentage of.
It's like 1% or 1/10 of a percent.
Yeah, of the TV rights or something.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's just, and it's
skyrocketed,
millions of dollars a year. I can't remember what team that is, but I mean they had him on. They did. I don't know if it was a 30 for 30 or what it was, but I mean that was a shrewd move there. But
yeah, they said that's the greatest contract ever signed.
Yeah,
because it was stemming off of Bobby Bonilla. You know, it was. I saw probably the same thing you did. It was like, Bobby Bonilla, and I found it. You're right, Joe. It started in 2011 through 2015. He gets $1.19 million every year. they said that's a great contract, but there's one that's even better.
Yeah.
And they went into that story.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible.
I know.
Did you have any kind of contracts where you got paid off later? Or
I had a great contract.
Yeah.
I retired, and I was just moved here, and just was getting my kids in school, and I was driving to Fayetteville one day, and my agent called me. It was like, why is he calling me? And he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I go, "I'm driving." He goes, "Well, you need to pull over." And I go, "Why?" He said, "Just pull over." And so he goes, "You're still the property of the Portland Trailblazers." Well, the Portland Trailblazers have traded Jermaine O'Neal to the Indiana Pacers for Dale Davis. It was Jermaine O'Neal and for Dale Davis and somebody else. And, back then, I think, the salaries have to be within 20%. You can't trade a $15 million guy for a $2 million guy. So you have to, they said, they need to sign you and then trade you to Indiana. So we're going to, you need to, I'm going to fax you. So you need to, and I don't know where I was, but I went somewhere in Fayetteville, got to a fax machine. They sent me the contract. I signed it. And then the Pacers waived me. And I was my first year here in Little Rock. So I got a NBA check for the whole year I was retired. Yeah, that was like what the hell, man? What the that's when you're like thinking this is everything that's right with the NBA and everything that's wrong with the NBA.
Yeah, they have to make those trades balance on both sides.
Yeah.
So you benefited from it.
Yeah, I mean, then Indiana called me and what was Donnie Walsh, who I knew, good guy, and Larry wasn't there yet. If Larry would have been there, I might have done it, but.
And you may have gotten more money.
Yeah, I could have sweet talked Larry into another couple of years. Told him how valuable I was. But Donnie was trying to get me to come, and I was like, Donnie, I bought a house. My kids are in school. I'm not coming. He kept telling me how bad he wanted me, and so finally I said, I tell you what, Donnie, you want me to go? Man, we want you, your leadership and everything. I said, give me 2 years, I'll come. Guaranteed 2 years, I'll come. Crickets. Crickets, man. I was like, well, man, John,
He may have been taking some heat for paying somebody that's not even on the team and just to get you to show up and be there.
Yeah. Oh, I know he was. I know. I mean, I get it. But I was like, I'll come for 2 years and real quiet.
So you hadn't retired officially?
No,
that's why this was...
I still haven't. I just wanted to put it out there. I still haven't retired officially. I don't know. I don't know that there is an official, unless you just... I think when people retire officially, especially the good players, they're like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the extent of it. I don't think there's any papers or anything like that.
That's a little bit different than NFL-wise. You do have to submit paperwork.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
That's probably so they start getting the retirement benefits.
Yeah, and they get on that clock of removing you from insurance. Like it's a 5-year window after you retire that you stay on insurance.
Wow.
Does the NBA have a good benefit?
We get full insurance.
That's weird that you wouldn't have to turn in your retirement papers to start receiving your retirement benefits.
Now, us getting full benefits didn't start till probably 4 or 5 years ago. So the last collective bargaining agreement. So they got, they were able to negotiate, which was very nice on their part for all the retired players to get full insurance.
That's huge.
Oh yeah, that's big time. That was a nice little
surprise
too. Yeah.
So what did you think when your agent called you and told you to pull over?
First of all,
you thought he was lying?
Yeah, that was BS. I mean, I was like, come on, man. I mean, that was like, and I was like, well, why would they do that? And he goes, because they, yours is the one that they can do this and it works.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was making, the one guy, and there were some guys that were still active that that they didn't want to include in it, and both teams just, Portland wanted Dale Davis and Indiana wanted Jermaine O'Neal, and whoever else was thrown in was fodder.
Mm-hmm.
It was just to make the deal work, and I don't even know. I mean, I want to say, I can't remember. I thought there was another guy from Indiana in there, but I can't remember.
Earlier, we were asked about the Razorbacks football season total over under 4.5 wins. That's the.
I'm not doing it. I've told you this.
Joe and I both said we're going to take the over 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Jake writes in on the D3 Auto Sales text line. I have no excitement for this upcoming season, but I like your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm hopeful, and I'm going to be screaming and yelling and supportive, but I am not expecting. I went down, like I said, with all three of them teams last year. I went down that road, football, basketball, and baseball, and I just, it's
can't do it again, huh?
I think that's the way to do it. Have low expectations, and we set a low bar, and then you end up feeling a little bit better.
I'm not hoping, but do not do your hall thing. Well, I'm not going to be able to be at your kickoff thing again, where y'all went. We all did the 11-1 last year.
It was last year we did 11-1.
11-1.
Yeah. Dang.
And I was sitting there. I was like, "You guys are killing me."
Savage writes in his 4 Cowboys on the Mount Rushmore: Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Randy White, and Jason Witten. It's not bad, Savage. I'm okay with that. You can argue Roger Staubach instead of Troy Aikman, but Troy has one more ring. But Roger, man, he had 2 rings and changed the game. Randy White's got to be on there. Jason Witten, probably wouldn't put him on mine. Maybe I'd go old school Bob Lilly. He may be one of the greatest. Larry Allen, that just passed away.
Larry, arguably the greatest
offensive lineman
ever.
Yeah. He could absolutely be on there. And then I think of coaches. Tom Landry was an innovator in football back then. But then, Jimmy comes in a short period of time. But I guess he didn't get the last one. Barry Switzer got that. I wouldn't put Jimmy Johnson on there. Who would you put on the Chiefs Mount Rushmore?
Oh, man. Well, Mahomes now. Bobby Bell, Buck Buchanan. You got Kelsey, the linebacker from Alabama, Thomas.
Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas, he's got to be on there. Derek Thomas has to be on there. Derek Thomas, Mahomes, either Bobby Bell or Buck Buchanan. Got Otis Taylor. I'm like you. There's like 5 that
you could go either way.
But I think Derek Thomas and Mahomes, and then they have to be on there. I think Bobby Bell or Buck Buchanan has to be on there. Probably Bobby Bell. Then Kelsey's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey's an all-timer. So
yeah.
I would go Kelsey.
I think we should do that, Joe. I like it. Just make tomorrow we can have the Mount Rushmore of your team.
That'd be good.
Take some calls in D3 Auto Sales. I think it's got some legs. State taxes played a role in Clay's decision to go to Texas or to the Mavericks. Also, Hogs will be a 4-5 win team based on their schedule. Drew or Preston Pearson? Drew Pearson over Preston Pearson.
Pearson?
Yep. Preston, he was a running back. Drew Pearson was the wide receiver 88.
Yeah.
Preston was the like a little scat back, slot back.
I think he was number 26.
Joe Montana for 49ers. I would say Tony Gonzalez would make the Mount Rushmore of Chiefs players. Yes.
Is he better than Kelsey? You gonna have two tight ends on there?
No, you got to go with Kelsey.
Yeah, I agree.
Kelsey over Gonzalez?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we?
Just because of the championships that come with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I took Emmett over, I would take Tony Dorsett, because he's the all-time leading rusher, has 3 Super Bowls. Although I'm a big Tony Dorsett guy.
Yeah.
I think we're all set. I think we're all caught up.
We some reaction from NHL draft going into the weekend on Friday.
Let's do NHL when we come back. I forgot about the Warriors with Joe in here. I need to ask him about Zach LaVine. And here's Chris Haynes on the Warriors not trading for Zach LaVine.
They waived Chris Paul, not guaranteeing his $30 million salary for next season, so Chris Paul is an unrestricted free agent. But prior to that, the Warriors are trying to seek a trade. That's why they got Chris Paul to push back his guaranteed date on his salary. And what was being talked behind the scenes were the Chicago Bulls were trying to propose a Zach LaVine to the Golden State Warriors for a package centered around Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins. The Warriors were not. That was something that they didn't feel was feasible. And so talks really didn't get off the ground much, but that was something that was a talk prior to the Golden State Warriors making the decision to waive Chris Paul. And they one more thing, the Warriors are actually trying to get. Well, I wouldn't say trying. They asked Chris Paul if he would be willing to push his guaranteed date back even further to give them more time to seek a trade. And I was told Chris Paul and his representatives they didn't agree to that, and so that's what led to this decision right now.
Combination of things, huh? Makes sense. I guess quickly on the Zach LaVine front, is there any traction with Chicago to move LaVine at all? As this one was declined, are they talking to any other teams in the LaVine deal?
Yeah, I believe there are some other teams out there, but Chicago, they don't want to get fleeced on a deal. Even though, there are some teams that believe that Zach LaVine is not the player that he was, that it's probably a bad contract.
It is a bad contract. That's a bad contract. It looked really good until it didn't look real good, but it looked like he would be able to live up to it until the injuries and stuff. But the last year and a half or so, it's not it's not trending in the right direction.
No, not at all.
And so if the Bulls traded him, it would be to get out from underneath maybe a mistake.
It was a nice, salary dump.
And it's hard to find a team that wants to take that on.
salary.
Yeah, yep. Especially Golden State, because they've been paying a tax and been at that for years, and they're kind of like, look, man, we can't keep Clay. Why would we take this guy? That is not trending and it's got a big contract.
NHL draft was held over the weekend. Here is your number 1 pick.
With the first overall selection in the 2024 NHL draft, the San Jose Sharks are very proud to select from Boston University, Macklin Celebrini.
He gets the hug from Mom Robin. First overall selection in franchise history. They picked second overall 3 times, including Patrick Marleau, who, of course, played with Joe Thornton. And for the first time, picking number 1. That's where it looks pretty good on him.
All right, there's your first pick, and somebody was really excited in the background. Here's your third pick, and Joe sent me the reaction here, and it's hilarious.
The Anaheim Ducks are proud to select from the Oshawa Generals, Beckett Seneca.
Man, this was not expected. Certainly when the season began. Look at his reaction. Oh, my God. I mean, this is a shocker.
Don't read lips, folks.
Read the lips. What? Read the lips. We're in Vegas. Read them. That's one of the best reactions we've ever seen in a draft. Drafted.
So
period.
Is this good for the Anaheim Ducks GM or bad?
Exactly. We don't know. Again, this is a fast riser. He's a late bloomer. He's not ready. He might not be ready for a couple of years. First 51 games, 46 points. Next 28, 44 points. Just a rising winger. I guess they see him as a 35 pure kind of winger goal scorer.
That's exactly what they see him as, and some people have kind of compared him a little bit to Owen Tippett for the Philadelphia Flyers. Okay. A guy that can shoot, a guy that can score, and when you play in Oshawa, I know my parents live 20 minutes just south of Oshawa. When you play in Oshawa, you get scouts all the time because it's centrally located just outside of Toronto. You can see the shock on his face, but I talked to a lot of people around the OHL that were marveling at his progression in the second half of the season.
Joe, when you pulled over on the side of the road and the agent told you what was happening, and your expression on your face was very similar to the expression on the face of Beckett Seneke.
Yeah, so they, NHL drafts on potential even more so than NBA. Yeah. And this guy, he said he was really surprised. It was the most genuine reaction you'd ever see. He dropped an OMG and a WTF, but he said the words out so you could read his lips. But he said he was so surprised because he never had a conversation with Anaheim Ducks, and it just took him by shock. But really genuine
when it comes
reaction.
out of the blue, like mine was like, I mean, like I said, I was like, okay, what radio station is this on, or what are we doing? I mean, it was. I mean, when you have no clue, that's pretty much what. That's pretty much the reaction you're going to give.
It was
Third
great.
pick overall.
It was a great reaction. We'll wrap it up when we come back. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
This is Pat Bradley for Brewskis, and we're excited to announce our brand new lunch promotion. Great meals for just about $10, ready in about 10 minutes. It's the brand new 10 and 10 lunch menu at both locations, downtown Little Rock and North Little Rock, served from Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm talking smash burger, fresh chicken, Caesar salad, and classic BLT with plenty of options to grab a great lunch in about 10 minutes for about $10. Dine-in only, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at both locations, downtown Little Rock and North Little Rock.
That's it. I'm calling Mosquito Joe. I am done being chased in by mosquitoes.
Let's just have our lawn company take care of our mosquito problem. They take care of our lawn. We got our termite contract with them. Hey, the guy even gave me a haircut last time he was here.
Seriously? I don't want a jack of all trades. I want a mosquito control expert. Mosquito Joe knows mosquitoes. Their first service is only $39, and there's no contracts.
Okay, I guess you're right. What's their number?
501-508-2528.
What was that again?
501-508-2528.
MosquitoJoe.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
July 4th doorbusters are happening now at Lowe's. For a limited time only, save $70 on a Charbroil 4-burner Performance Series gas grill. Was $249, now $179. And get 50% off Harbor Breeze 48-foot LED outdoor string lights to brighten up your patio for summer. Shop these deals before they're gone, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 7/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
Bass, Scoops is my new go-to for coffee. You should go there now.
Raj, only if you join me for their ice cream. It's amazing.
Absolutely it is. They've got coffee with ice cream for those special days. Plus, their pastries and breakfast sandwiches are all local.
Raj, they even have a drive-thru. Greg Hatcher has thought of everything.
I love Greg Hatcher. You bet he has. Scoops is open all day, every day.
Perfect. Let's head there now. It's at the corner of Broadway and 3rd, downtown Little Rock.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty, with a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Join 103.7 The Buzz as First Security Bank presents coverage of the 2024 SEC Media Days. David Basil and Randy Rainwater will be in Dallas with the latest news, interviews, and highlights. Brought to you in part by Kaufman by Design West, UAMS Health, Beechwood, Pinnacle Hotels, and Bet Saracen. And be sure to watch 103.7 The Buzz social media for live videos, pictures, and much more. It's 103.7 The Buzz, live from SEC Media Days, presented by First Security Bank.
Been getting better by the day, but tonight I drink. You say I gotta get over you and get sober too. I got a lot of habits I gotta kick. Well, weigh out all your options and take your pick. Yeah, I can either burn the bar down.
Welcome back. It is Out of Bounds. Joe Franklin, Wes Moore, Joe Klein hanging out on this July 1st, and Corky's has got a deal for you for July 4th.
Running it back, man. It's like the championship Boston Celtics are going to run it back next year.
The
Chiefs running it back too, man. Yeah, don't forget about them. And hey, the Royals.
They may take Hagen Smith now. I saw a mock draft with them taking him at number 6.
Like I said, last year we won. I think 58 games, 56 games. We've already got 46. So we're happy, and we took 3 out of 4 from the Indians, so they were in first place. So who knows? But anyway, yeah, we did this on Memorial Day. We did a $100 will get you 2 racks of ribs, 2 pounds of pork, a quart of beans, slaw, cheese dip, chips, sauce, and buns for $100. And then this year we've added on, if people don't want all that other stuff, you can get 2 racks of ribs for $40.
That's awesome.
So I mean, you can feed 8 to 10 people with that first option, with the 2 pounds of pork and the 2 ribs. And then if you just want some ribs, they're great ribs, and it's 2 for $40, and it's gonna go. It's going to go from the 3rd all the way through Saturday. So we're gonna start it on Wednesday the 3rd and run it all the way through Saturday. So the 3rd through the 6th. So just if you wanna pre-order it, just call the store. They're asking that if you do that, you can come inside and get it. If not, especially early in the day, there shouldn't be any problem coming through the drive-through and just ordering it off the speaker. Later in the day. We've experienced when we've done this before.
Start to run a little low.
You run a little low on ribs, so just if you want to put your order in and come pick it up, just walk in the store, come to the bar, and they'll box it up. If not, come through the drive-through.
How many people you think that feeds?
Well, we say 8 to 10. So, I mean, and it depends. Like, if it was me and my 3 brothers, it'd be 4 people. So, I mean, it's kind of depending what your situation looks like.
I tell you, we got it for Memorial Day, and I told everybody about how awesome it was. And it was me and a bunch of girls or women that I think I was the only guy that ate off of it. And I think we got 13 meals that I counted, and I didn't finish it all.
Yeah.
So it feeds a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bang for your buck on July 4th.
It's an awesome deal. It's fresh every day. It's not something we're freezing or packing away. I mean, we're cooking it. It's coming off the rotisseries that morning. So Little Rock, North Little Rock, give them a call, and it's a sweet deal.
I may get a couple of those and take them on down to Lake Bruin for the family.
I
think
I'm gonna grab one and either take it to PV for the fireworks or go over to my daughter's pool and tell everybody I'm cooking.
Well,
not to worry that
technically
Pops has got you guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you got them taken care of. Well, he's getting it done at Corky's. They're getting it done at Gwatney Chevrolet. You want to check out the website, GwatneyChevrolet.com, see all the inventory. You can see all the deals that they have. Some great deals in the month of July. They're going to take care of you in the summer months. This is the time to act. They got some great rebates, and they're passing it along to the customer, and you're still getting a bang for your buck for the trade-in. Trade-in values are still very high. Gwatney's going to make sure they take care of you when you sell that, trade in that vehicle that you're driving right now. You're ready to get out from underneath bad payment that you have right now, don't like the vehicle you're driving right now. Take it out to Gwatney Chevrolet. Check out that trade-in value. You'll get to pay off that note and put a little extra cash down on a new car and drive out of there. It's something that you want to drive and look forward to driving every day. Go see our friends at Gwatney Chevrolet, and they are our friends. They'll take care of you, and they'll become your friends too. Give them a chance at Gwatney Chevrolet, Gregory Street exit in Jacksonville. One of the cool things I saw this weekend, Sydney McLaughlin. Levrone. Got to learn to say her name because she is something special in the 400-meter hurdles.
Jasmine Jones has gone by Shamir Little. It's going to be a home stretch fight for that spot. There's no question about the lead and the victory. Sydney McLaughlin Levrone, 50-67. That would tie the world record. Is that the world record? 50.68 was the record. It's a world record in the last event of the trials. Sydney's done it again.
It's funny, they weren't even talking about her coming down the stretch because she was so far ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
It was amazing watching that. If you haven't seen it, just Google 400-meter hurdles for the women. She was just dominating.
Edwin Moses-esque.
Yes, absolutely. He
Edwin
said,
Moses used to smoke them too.
He said Levrone, so he
Levrone.
had a little, little extra at the end.
We're going to Paris. Levrone.
But yeah, she's dominant. She has been for a long time, best in the world.
She made up all that ground on the turn, and then when they come around the turn, she was so far ahead. And it's like she steps over the hurdles. Everybody else is jumping over the hurdles.
She just does it like a speedster.
Fluid. Gosh,
there was another hurdle race where everyone was going to qualify, so you saw someone just run it just like at a certain pace where she finished in 20 seconds. Everyone else finished in 12. She finished in 20. It was the 100-meter hurdle.
Uh-huh.
She just, because she knew everybody was going to qualify.
Huh.
So she didn't take any chance.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That was a good Monday. 2 more days to do it until the 4th happens. Joe, thank you.
Hey,
have a good 4th.
Guys. You guys have a great 4th.
Stick around.
Thanks for having us.
Drop Time Sports is next.
You that CertaPro Painters is here to make your life a lot easier, especially when it comes to exterior painting. You may be noticing faded colors on your walls or on the exterior